drinking the Kool-Aid, not so to speak, they did literally drink the Kool-Aid. He had like the cult of personality. And I think that's the element that's missing. So when I see this story and hearing it now, it kind of is like reminiscent of the old stories, but not really of what we've heard more recently, where, like I said, a lot of these shooters are not, they don't really have much personality. They don't really have a cult following. Most of them actually act out alone. They don't really get people to follow them much. So the fact that this guy is doing this, even though he did act alone, speaks to the fact that maybe he does have that trait, that cult of personality trait.
Well, Alpha, I want to ask you a question. Let me just jump in for 2 seconds here. Do you think we as a society, and when I say society, I really mean America, because it's a phenomenon in America that I don't know if it actually happens in other countries. But do you think that we've got so desensitized to school shootings that it doesn't get the publicity somebody like Luigi gets?
Most definitely. I definitely think that we, as a society, we try to prioritize trauma to our detriment, right? I think that, like, sometimes because we're so oversaturated with things on the news that it's like, okay, we got to kind of try to filter out what we can handle or what the American public in general can handle. So I already think that, in general, there's already so much going on. There's already so much violence and trauma going on. And so because it's already in our face, I think that we have become desensitized because we see it so much now. And also, like, the fact that now we're having conversations about teachers carrying guns in school, where, even though, like, I when I was growing up, that was the start of the school shooting thing. Like, Columbine was happening when I was growing up, so that was kind of like the start of it. So we weren't really having those type of conversations, but today is like you got people actually considering giving teachers armed guns and armed weapons in classrooms. That's something that we were never talking about before. So yeah, I definitely think that even though we are desensitized, I do see where like the youth are still mobilizing around it. Looking at like a few years ago when they had that march on Washington against school violence. So I do think that this generation, they do still care about it. Even though we're desensitized, I think that they still care about it enough to say something and act upon it and try to get Congress to move on it. I just don't think it's going to be productive because these people are dead set on keeping their guns. And so I don't think that they're going to move on that way.
No, I agree with that. And our school that my daughter still goes to was one of the first in the state of Florida that we have a whole task force. We have undercover retired military and law enforcement that walk that school all day long armed. Nobody knows who they are. They think they're not cops. They think they're teachers. And they walk the school because our school has been targeted multiple times, even though we're in an upper middle class school district. But I'm thinking back to Natalie Holloway and that little shit that killed her, right? Another one from a very wealthy family takes the girl out and kills her. And it took America forever to get that settled. And women were after him left and right. They probably still are. Because he was a good-looking kid. Where is the disconnect in these folks? Like, you're raising your children. Where is the disconnect here that they think it's okay? And I tell my kids all the time, now, when you go out and act a fool, it's not like playing a video game. Game over. That's it. The plug has been pulled. If you're dead, you're dead. Can't get you back. Can't get somebody else back. So you have to pay attention. But I don't know what the fascination is with the women that go out, and I'm sure it's probably not just women, Jay. I'm sure there's probably men that have sent him messages.
Well, let me say this down some ratings here. Because he actually wanted to talk to another girl besides that, and he wound up getting married in prison. But, not just the killers, right? I want to give an example. This is a polarizing example, people, so be prepared. The cult that's fine. I don't get it. Like Donald Trump even said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue on live TV and get away with it. And there are women that will throw their panties at this dude. I just don't understand the mindset there.
But these women don't be. I think that like you're looking at it as like they're the typical average woman. I think a lot of these women who end up I'm kind of attributing this to being in a cult, and a lot of times when those situations happen, these people know how to attract certain people, right? They know that certain people are from vulnerable communities, or they, may not have certain mental capabilities to understand, certain things rationally, right? So they pick those people by design to follow them. That's what it is. And I think that so like if you're looking at it like from the lens of, somebody who's rational, I don't think any rational woman is going to be like, oh yeah, this serial killer over here, or oh yeah, this guy just shot a CEO of a company. He's hot. Like most rational women are not thinking that. These women are clearly not rational, or they clearly have something mentally going on with them. It's not going to make sense to the average person.
I think the Donald Trump thing is more glitz and glamour for women. That's what I think it is. Because for me, I wouldn't choose him. But maybe it's glitz and glamour for women with Donald Trump. Hell, I don't know. I mean, the money that he makes. I don't know.
Let me say this.
Maybe the title. I don't know.
There's an actor out there. I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. His name's Armie Hammer, right? Armie Hammer's admitted to having an absolutely gorgeous gentleman, but he's admitted to having fantasies of cannibalism, and women throw themselves at this guy. It's bizarre to me. Boy, I know you wanted to try to chime in.
I'm just thinking right now, before you go to him, I'm just thinking, okay, I want to throw myself at a man. Would you like to cook me up? Please tell me if you're using Cabernet when you're boiling me.
I like a white wine sauce for percent.
What?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to say that the concept of women being attracted to men who are I forgot the gentleman who was talking about it, but women are attracted to like men who are unconventional and think outside the box, or that's not something that solely manifests itself in the extremes of life. Like either you're a felon who goes to jail, or you become president of the United States. Like women respect men who go against, don't have to necessarily go against the grain of society, but men who are independent thinkers and steer their own destiny, steer their own way forward. And so I think that's something that, think what you will about Donald Trump, but the fact that he has many, I'm not saying I'm one of these women, but I'm just saying the fact that he can say things unabashedly, and for that to be attractive to some women, it's not like I'm not attracted to that or what the content that's being produced from his mouth hole, but I'm sure I can understand that, that people are attracted. It represents something bigger. It represents people that don't go with just the convention, who have the ability to think outside the box. Perhaps for some, I wouldn't say that Donald Trump is that necessarily, but I'm saying that that is the way that many people interpret him to be. And so I just wanted to point that out because I think that point is valid, that women are into that, but I don't think that the only way that you can see that is in very jarring or provocative personalities. You can just see that with men who put their foot down and notice something to be ridiculous and point out that that's ridiculous and make good rational claims for why it is.
Let me ask you a question, Boya. Let me ask you a question. And then I'm going to say good morning to E-Liddy. So here's the question, and you and the other ladies on stage, maybe you can answer this. What is the difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity? I stump you, ladies?
No. Were you asking me or?
Well, I was asking you and any of the women in the room.
Okay, well, I'll let my ladies in the room respond first before I do.
I would firstly say, masculinity, women see men who go out of their way to do for others and for the group and for the greater good, whereas toxic masculinity is very selfish and arrogant and abusive. That's what I would say initially.
Any of the ladies want to chime in? PB, Alpha, Viola?
I think that masculinity looks like support. And I think toxic masculinity is like Paula said about self and for self gain, and not for the greater good of your community, your family, or yourself. So I think that's the difference for me.
Thank you.
I was going to say that the biggest difference between masculinity and toxic masculinity is like masculinity is more like, in my mind, is more set like our set of traits that we traditionally attribute to men. So like strength, leadership, protectiveness, which all can be expressed healthily and positively within our society. Now, I know that there's some people that think that's impossible, but I do believe that there's room, for that to be expressed healthily. But toxic masculinity is like, I just find that to be more of the set of behaviors and stereotypes, like suppressing emotion, aggression, unwarranted or unwarranted aggression or dominance that can hurt both men and others. Like that's more of how I view toxic masculinity than masculinity itself.
Thank you for that, Roy. Thank you, ladies. Good morning, E. Liddy.
What's up, bro?
How you doing? Happy holidays.
Same to you and yours.
Thank you. So what do you think, man? Why are women drawn, seems, to bad boys?
It's funny you asked that question because I feel like you're addicted to toxic masculinity. Because Luigi is a big example of toxic masculinity. You don't like something, you want something to be changed, so you think that you need to go take someone's life. I don't give a fuck how much I disagree with someone. I'm not going to go kill them. And I feel like anyone who is glamorizing that, you need to go seek a mental evaluation. Like, literally. It's weird. I've seen it start on Twitter before mainstream caught it, and it's so funny. And it's actually, I'm having a moment right now realizing that we're in an age where I'm seeing shit on social media build up before it hits TV. And this is why legacy media is dying, and I fucking love it for my generation. But, yeah, I just feel like women are just addicted to that shit. They like that toxic bad boy behavior. They feel like it's a sense of protection. I'll even use my community. I asked some of the women that are, I guess, around, like, why do you deal with gang members? And I had one lady tell me, or one woman, she was like, well, it's not that I enjoy their lifestyle, but I just like the rush. Like, it gives them adrenaline. It's almost like foreplay to them, for real. If you want me to get that's basically what she was telling me. But, yeah, I just think that they just like that shit, and it's weird to me, personally.
Thank you. Great share. Jefferson, good morning. Happy holidays.
Nice try. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. And yourself?
No serious complaints.
Oh, you're in the right space. So, Jefferson, why are women attracted to bad boys? What's your opinion?
Character flaws notwithstanding, on the part of maybe some of this would bleed into something like toxic femininity, I guess. But like a lot of the things that map over to the bad boy. If I drew a Venn diagram of very masculine types of agency. So, like, somehow we were able to take a poll over all of the women in Western civilization, all of the women on planet Earth today, even. There'd be a lot of similarities. There'd be a lot of qualities where we'd see some overlap. And if we took that kind of masculine agency that is broadly appealing to women, there would be a lot of overlap, I think. You would see that agency very present in a lot of the bad boy types. That's what I think it is. Like aggression, for example. Like there's at least in our neural circuitry and our body chemistry and everything else, there's not all that much difference. It may be impossible really currently to tell the difference between the capacity for aggression and the capacity to achieve a goal, or the likelihood that somebody can achieve a goal, like a man could achieve a goal. And that may be, those two things may be inseparable, right? Like aggression is necessary. Minimal necessary force. That's a principle. Minimal necessary force. But force is part of that, and necessary force is part of that. That kind of operating principle. And it takes something awfully like aggression to bring to bear the necessary force. And it takes being civilized or some other kind of virtue to make sure you've got the minimal part down. But anyway, that's for whatever that's worth. That's my.
I appreciate it, man. Happy holidays. Thank you, Jefferson. Miss Fifi, I love your PTR. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Can you guys hear me? The app has been glitching on me.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too. I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm a Gen Xer here, and I think of course, he's a handsome guy. He's actually from my area here in Baltimore. I'm in Baltimore County. It's like bad boys. They're like forbidden type of things. Just like guys go for the chase, women kind of go for the thrill. You don't get anything out of it. It's all fun and games until it's not. And I think everybody, if he's picking me, I must be something because I'm with this dude. So I think it's been like, especially as it pertains to Luigi, if I'm saying his name correctly, I think this has been going on for years in terms of women with those bad boys that want to write them in jail, marry them, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think he did a bad thing. It's not good. And hey, he can be fine all he wants. He can be fine in jail. That's about it. That's all I have.
JB, are these girls young? Like the ones that are following this kid? Like, because I just can't see older women like doing this. I'm just really curious. I want to know the demographic. Like, are these girls like teenagers? Are they in their 20s? Like, because the girls, I'm in my 30s, baby. I don't see us doing this. I'm sorry.
They're young. Yes, they're young. You're right. And I think Miss P made a good point too that no one has brought up, and it is a lot simpler. It's fun, right? I mean, when I was more into bad boys, I was in my early 20s, and it's because it's exciting. They're desirable. They're a little bit more unavailable. They get a lot of attention. It feels good to be maybe wanted and picked or something like that in a way that is not at all desirable. And they're a little bit more thrill-seeking, reckless, like not good long-term partners. But they're not. There's that trope of the nice guy finishes last kind of thing. It's the other side of that.
Well, PP, let me ask you a question before I go to Uncle Weekend. Did you maybe subconsciously, when you were dating these bad boys, think that, well, maybe because you're a nice lady, right? Did you ever feel that you could change them and maybe help them?
No, I think that's a little bit overplayed. It's just more of like you're kind of fun, like you're in the excitement, you're in the moment. Romance is fun. I don't know. I don't think I have that I can fix you type of thing. I think that's deeper and maybe more specific to a person.
Thank you, PP. Let me say good morning to Unc and Weedman. Good morning, gentlemen. Happy holidays. Unc?
Hey, what's good, JB? Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy holidays.
Unc, let me ask you a question. Thank you for the happy holidays. And listen, me, you, and Weedman, we come from the street, so we have a different mentality, right? But you've definitely seen some fine women with some ugly ass dudes that were bad boys. Why do women like bad boys, Uncle?
Because they got bankrolls.
So it's a money thing.
Ain't no such thing as an ugly rich man. I don't care how many women on the stage fix and say, "Oh man, shut up, man. Just because a man got a lot of money, if he ugly, I mean, yeah, okay. Well, I'm a ugly man with some money, and I've dated women that I know wouldn't give me the time of day if I didn't have some bread. Period."
But are we talking about ugly men or criminals? Because I thought we were talking about men that commit crimes, like not just aesthetically pleasing. I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well, if that's what you're talking about, then here's the deal. Whether they're criminals or bankers or accountants or auto mechanics or whatever they are, if they ugly and they got some money, however they got their money, a woman don't give two flying fucks. However they got their bread, if they got some bread, how they look is irrelevant. Now, I'm just talking about my experience. I'm not speaking for all men. All I'm saying is, when I was young and broke, woman wouldn't give me the time of day. In fact, one girl socked me one time, for even talking to her. And as soon as I got some bread, everything got different. It got real different. Yeah.
Now she socked you.
He might like
Yeah, because she felt like, who did I think I was? Look at me, I'm fine.
Did you like being
You
socked
got
up?
the nerve to try and talk to me? Really? And you ain't got no money? Y'all see them videos where the girl be talking crazy to the dude? She's sitting on his Ferrari, Bugatti, whatever it is, and she don't know the car is his. And she talking to a dude, get away from me. Ugh, really? As if. Soon as he go to open the door to get in the car, what happened? This your car? Oh my God, really? Could you give me a lift? Can I ride with you?
Let me say this, bro. And I usually agree with you, and I agree with you right now. And I'm going to say something polarizing, ladies. Just give me a chance to unpack it. Most women, not some of you, but most women don't give a fuck where men get their money from. They don't care. They're not going to question it. And that money definitely makes them more attractive. But let me say good morning to Weed Man. Joseph, good morning. Happy holidays to you and your family.
How you doing? Happy holidays. Hey, man.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Nothing, just chilling, man. Sitting here smoking, rolling my joint. So the question, I guess, is why women like bad guys? I think, I've been married for a long time now.
But see, I was going to say that. You got lucky. You found your woman. You guys been together since Jesus Christ. But why do women...
20 years.
Yeah. Why do women like bad boy?
But with that being said, what I think and what I pick up, I would say, without anything that would be offending any sex, I think the risk. I think there's a level of risk that and this is the same for men who aren't risky men, right? They put themselves around that environment and they kind of get a feel off it, right? It's fun, it's exhilarating, it's depending on who you're with and what you're doing, there might be levels of power and control, right, involved with that relationship. So there's a lot that actually comes along with dating a bad boy, right? Like my uncle, the leader of a biker gang, he's got a wife up in Kentucky, right? And I'm pretty sure she feels a certain kind of way versus my father and his wife, and kind of how their dynamic is when it comes to the bad boy, because they're both bad boys, but the wives are clearly, attracted to a different type of thrill or risk or whatever. Yeah, or mental illness, P. I mean, to be fair, 100%.
Well, thank you for that.
But you can't jump over. Jay, you can't jump over the fact that Unc sounded like he was a surfer boy out in California. He's like, as if.
Man, why are you going to poke
I was just saying how they talk to me, the responses that I get from women when you initially start talking to them, and then they realize that, you the kind of dude that they can walk into Louis Vuitton and buy that $17,000 purse, right? Not with their money, with your bread, and they ain't got two nickels to rub together. So they walking around with a $17,000 purse on their arms, but they ain't got no money.
You have no money.
But that was part of being a bad boy back then, though. You ain't had no money. The women spent their money on you.
Man, no, they didn't spend their money on me, man. A woman wouldn't buy
didn't buy you a
Women trying to buy me every.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me say good morning to Hillary. Hillary, good morning. You look gorgeous in your PTR, Hillary.
Oh, thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. You know, I think one of the things that you guys are saying, the girls are doing for excitement and whatnot. Do you ever think about maybe the fact that these are women who probably have a lot of trauma in their lives and therefore are looking for anybody to protect and take care of them, and they see somebody who's done, and I mean, this goes for women who just like the guys in jail, who, you know, all of that stuff, the ones that go for the serial killers and everything. It could be more than just a little dangerous, but more to the point that they want a man, an alpha, somebody who they know for a fact will protect them, and that is some of the attraction to it.
Well, Hillary,
I was gonna say, because JB, I agree with you that a lot of women, when it comes to the money shit, it doesn't matter where you got that shit from, because at the end of the day, if I'm used to a certain lifestyle, if I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, or if I grew up struggling, and even though this man, he might be, he may not be I don't want to go to the degree that he's a killer, but let's say he's a drug dealer, right? Or let's say he's just doing some nefarious shit where he robbing people and stuff like that. It may not be right. But at the end of the day, he putting food on the table. And for some women, if you're not used to a man doing that, you will accept that, because at the end of the day, he's your lifeline. He's your livelihood. So yeah, you're right. There are some women that will overlook a lot of stuff when it comes to the money, because at the end of the day, if that man's providing and he's showing that he can protect more time and time again, she's not gonna care about that.
Well, let me say this before I go to be masterful of yourself. So when I came home from incarceration, I'm not gonna lie, I was intimidated to tell women about my past. I just came home, I was scared, and I have to be honest with you, not one woman that I've spoken to gave a shit. When I told them the truth, I was like, listen, this is where I came from, this is what I did, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't have any money. But now that I got money, it's a whole other ball game. I agree with what Unc said earlier. Be masterful, how you doing?
The magical penis.
Oh, thank you for that.
Hello.
Hello. Long time no speak. How you doing? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Good to see you, JB. Hello, room. Thanks for having me.
So let me ask you a question. Why do women like bad boys, in your opinion?
So, I wouldn't put it in the same category as Luigi. The bad boy thing, I would agree with a lot of the other women said. I think it really just has to do with instinct and survival, knowing that you have a man that would be willing to do things outside of the norm to fight for your nest, you know what I mean, your home, and not be afraid, right? It shows like an element of fearlessness, and I think that that's sought after for security, just psychologically within women. So I think that might be a little bit of that, but I don't think that that's what the Luigi situation is. I've seen a lot of people, I'm going to make a big claim, and for people who it is controversial, I think. But I think that any woman who is at any level sort of either condoning or admiring in any capacity Luigi, I feel that they are, as another woman had said or another person had said on stage, they're severely lacking in not only emotional maturity, but a need for revolution. They understand that there's a problem in society, because it's not just the women. I've seen it with a lot of men too, especially on Facebook, and a lot of the men in these on these threads, in these debate rooms, which are generally male dominated, and you see, the men, it's like 50-50. They're going back and forth, and that makes me so curious. And you see men come up with these seemingly logical explanation, or I wouldn't say logical, I'll say reasonable, in their mind, that there's an element of reason that they've justified why that this guy should die and why he is a hero. And so I think that's more of what the Luigi thing is. But I think that those people are dangerous people. I think, and I'll move to say that, and I'll end there, that anybody somebody that is admiring him without understanding the true connectedness of how the entire system works and what it means to misrepresent somebody like a CEO saying that he's a murderer and justifying a murder as a heroic action, while I think it misrepresents the entire moral reason of why we were upset at the CEO to begin with, which is a profit, a callousness, and a profit-based system. He wasn't an intentful. The CEO wasn't an intentful murderer. There was no intent of, like he wasn't a terrorist. And I think that there's a lot of risk misrepresenting that. And the people that are advocating for that, I think they're just hungry for a change. And at this point,
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I'm asking respectfully. Do you think if Luigi looked like Danny DeVito, he would get as many fans, as many female fans?
To be honest, yeah, sure. I think that there probably wouldn't, but that also then goes to show what's the explanation for the male, this extreme amount of male. Would it be different for the male? And so asking me that, would it be different for the male support as well? I don't know. Can I ask you that? Do you think as a male that there would be, if he looked like Danny DeVito, there would be less men moving to call him a hero as well?
Charles Manson. Look at all of the extreme love letters and devotion those freaking wackos got. I mean, those dudes were ugly. Ugly. And look at all the women that threw themselves at them once they were incarcerated.
So,
does anybody remember Prison Name from back in the day, like from a few years ago? That he was like a black guy. He had really pretty green. He was fine.
Yes. Oh my God.
His name was like Jeremy something, and everybody with the internet went crazy over him. And women was like, "Oh my God, I want to marry him." Like, I forget why he was in jail. I forget
he got a modeling
contract. They tried to call that motherfucker my twin, bro. Oh my.
You do look like him.
In other pictures, probably, yeah. But I think with B-Master, I wanted to say this. The B-Master kind of touched on something different. I think I spoke to it when this first happened, and I also think I told you that this was going to be a white boy that was better off. I think I gave that synopsis in here when you asked a couple of us. I'm not sure, but honestly, I think that because he looks good from a non-homophobic standpoint, I think more men do support him. Looks has a lot to do with everything. It's kind of the first thing we deal with. However, understanding the argument that's taking place here is pretty in-depth. You're looking at society turning over kind of a new leaf, a dangerous leaf. And I wrote an article on it the other day. I think I told y'all, or Jay, you about it. It's called something in the Jacobins. If you guys don't know about the Jacobins and the French Revolution, you should definitely go learn about them. They're pretty much what we know is starting modern-day terrorism in the way it's done. Not just in a physical fashion, but also in a systematic fashion, eliminating your opponents and getting them out of pushing people out and stuff. So go look at that. They're called the Jacobins. And they came around in the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, during the French Revolution. I had to learn about it in school for global terrorism and domestic terrorism. And the resemblances in where society is heading today and where we're heading based on the actions of people and the social engineering is definitely down the slippery slope. So I don't know if it's looks, male or female. I think society as a whole is now being pushed to a much different place.
Thank you, Lee, man. So to answer your question, be masterful. I think men who resonate with Luigi resonate with the message. I think some women resonate with his message, as crazy as it is. But I think some women also look past it. They don't give a shit about the message. They just see a fine-ass young man, because that's him in MG's profile. They look at that. They see the six-pack. They see the smile. They see the caterpillar eyebrows.
Oh, that's him.
And they're like, that's him. What do you think?
He alright. What? And not my type. Not my type.
Another thing about it is people just want to touch fame. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really even matter what it is. If you've got a name out there for even a few moments, people just want to touch fame. They want to be part of it.
I agree with that. Welcome. I don't know how to say your name, sir.
It's the way it sounds. It sounds the way.
Well, good morning.
guys, what do you think about the conversation? I think it keeps the atmosphere right yet again. You just keep winning. It proves it right. You were right about your. If you look at it, this man is a murderer. I mean, he was like, and you know, has all but given the official confession. Does that stop the ladies not liking him? Who's the man still right again?
But then how would you explain the male support, Mom?
Well, that's easy. Men of course. Were there guys that didn't like Jesse James? Were there guys that didn't like Adolf Hitler? Were there guys that didn't like Chairman Mao or Saddam Hussein? They had guys who supported them too. There's no argument that men support horrible men. Nobody denies that. The issue is women supporting horrible men. Women love narcissists. They complain about them all the time. Women love assholes. Women like reproducing with them. Why do you think there's so many assholes walking around? Because women like reproducing with them.
But the question, the point, and I'm not going to disagree with you, but the question is, why do they love these assholes? You and I have both seen guys who are just straight assholes, sloppy, fat, disgusting, with some of the finest women in the world. Why?
Because women like being treated like crap. The Professor Tom Lysis said it best. Treat women like crap, they always come back.
Ladies,
I disagree.
I'm not saying whether I personally agree with it, so that we're clear. I am not giving a personal endorsement or giving a value judgment. I am just looking at behavior, what people do. The first cardinal rule of pickup is you never listen to what women say. You always watch what they do. I just look at what they do.
I mean, JB, I'm just looking at my eyes, right? Like psychoanalyzing this. I hear everybody on stage. Like, he's attractive, right? I'm doing the eyeball test. Like I said earlier, if this man was living at home, I don't know how old he is, but whatever. If he's living at home, he's jobless, he's a dusty, he would get no women. Like, attractiveness.
You believe that?
I mean, for me, like, so for example,
But I mean, I can only. Bums getting coochie every day out here.
Yeah, there are guys that look like him that are laying up on a woman's couch getting waffles right now.
Every day out here.
Okay, well, I can't relate to that. I have no idea. Like, for
now,
me,
you
that
may
would
not be
not
able
work.
to relate to it, and that's fair.
I can't relate.
I can't relate to it either, but I see it happen though.
Yeah, it happens all the time. This is prime. This is the prime time of cuffing season. You best believe there are Luigi's and Leroy's. He's the black equivalent. Luigi's and Leroy's and Jorge's out there right now. And up on the woman's couch at the bank, blowing her back out, and she's cooking her breakfast, and he got a pot in the window to throw it out. That guy's coming from jail right now, coming from jail to a woman's couch near you.
Hold on a second, ladies. Before you jump on him, I'm going to agree with everything this man said.
So I just think this guy looks unassuming. He doesn't look crazy. Like, right? There's a certain look and aesthetic. He looks like the boy next door. I shouldn't call him the man. I don't remember what Ted Bundy looks like.
Ted Bundy is the boy next door.
This guy didn't hurt any women, this guy didn't hurt any women. He didn't attack any women. Like,
Ted Bundy killed women and women loved him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The comparisons in which we're providing don't line up with Luigi. Luigi is a murderer. He's not a woman beater or a oppressor. Like,
we don't know that. We were just talking in terms of
based on his life statements. They said he was a good guy.
Predatory. And just like this guy, even though he's not my type, I do agree with Angie that he is attractive. So I do see the appeal that women would have. But I think that's what we're talking about. Not necessarily the crime he committed, but Ted Bundy had the same appeal. He was very attractive. That's actually how he was able to get a lot of his victims. He took them out on dates where he would break into, he would follow these girls that were on college campuses, follow them around, and then wait till they go to sleep at night and then kill them in their sleep. Some of his victims. So, it's just the similarity is more about the attractiveness and their appeal to women more so than the crime.
So
Yeah,
I
more
have
attractive.
That was my because I got lost in translation when I was listening to Mumia there, but he was like, "This Luigi's on the couch and comparing." I'm like, "Damn, but they're not the same three kind of."
I'd like to hear what the room thinks about it.
Hold on 1 second. Everybody mute up, please. Mumia, please mute up because I get feedback. Thank you. So I'm gonna get going. As MGP and Death want to keep it open because I got in real life stuff to do. What I'll do is I'm gonna mod Weedman. He'll be the bouncer at the door. You'll be in good hands with Weedman. So guys, have a great day. Happy holidays, everybody, and I'll see you in the clubhouse streets.
See you, Jay.
Have a good one, Jay.
See you later,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Jay.
Hey, I just wanted to share with you guys. I just found some polls which I wasn't familiar with. So I'm looking at them as
She wasn't
talking
familiar with the
to
polls?
Center for Strategic Politics, and they did some polls, which is very interesting. Apparently, men are 3 times more likely to find justifiability.
I'm like you, Dina. I'm weak too. I can't get through this without somebody to touch, without somebody to love. Is that because sex numbs the pain? Or is it because I'm some evil fuck monster? I don't know. But I do know I was somebody before I came in here. I was somebody with a life that I chose for myself. And now it's just about getting through the day without crying. And I'm scared. I'm still scared. I'm scared that I'm not myself in here, and I'm scared that I am. Other people aren't the scariest part of prison, Dina. It's coming face to face with who you really are. Because once you're behind those walls, there's nowhere to run, even if you could run. The truth catches up with you, Dina. And it's the truth that's gonna make you a bitch.
It's the truth that's gonna make you her bitch, scared straight from Orange is the New Black. Let's go to Dr. James. Good morning, Dr. James. Fresh 5, if you want it.
Yeah, good morning. I appreciate that. So I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to talk about because it seems like the conversation has been a bit all over the place today, and it's kind of nice to just not be sort of in the midst of a contentious argument. I don't come to class for contentious arguments. So
Really? You don't, huh?
This has been kind of nice, even if it's not talking about all sort of sunshine and rainbows. I do appreciate just a good conversation, connecting with people that I am getting to know, and developing whatever we call this, or these relationships, friendships, whatever. Is there a different word that we haven't come up with for these types of bonds that we share? I'm not sure, but I think there's really something here, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate coming to your room, Steve, and helping out where I can, and so I guess there's that. That's kind of sort of always glazed around anything I say in here. Yes, I just want to say I guess I'm gonna take up the space a little bit. Yesterday I spent the entire day making a fire in my wood burning fireplace and just hanging out by the fire and really kind of doing nothing, just having a very sort of slow, contemplative day, which is rare for me, and it was so good. I mean, it was just such a nice. I don't know. When I make a fire, I use it kind of in a how do you call it? Like a ritual, burning away the stress, burning away. If I have something that's really been bothering me, sometimes I even do visualizations and stuff. And I'm not going to push snake oil on anybody because this is really my thing. But I find it to be really healing. And I think there's something really healing in a lot of ways about a lot of elements elements. I mean, water is something else that I find to be really healing. And, since we're in Mass Atheist Room, my mind is floating to this idea of, you see even in religion and spirituality, the elements get invoked for certain rituals. And, some people really believe in these things in a very literal way. I can't help but wonder if the previous speaker who was talking about an app and different things, if they really believe all those things, or if it's just sort of a means to an end. Maybe this is someone who's really just looking to get their big break, and they came up with this idea, and they see a market for it. People do that all the time. I find that to be a little bit, and again, I don't want to disparage anything that is being done or he's doing or whatever, but it did feel a little bit like a grift to me, and I didn't like that. It's like probably the low point for me in the conversation today was listening to someone essentially give us a kind of a clunky pitch for an app. In any case, let's see, what else I got?
If that's a pitch for a new app, that's one of the worst pitches I've ever heard.
Well, I don't know what it is, so that's why I'm really trying hard to not get hyper-focused on that, because that really bothers me.
Do you pitch an app by saying if you don't believe in God, you're going to hell?
Oh no, I'm talking about the other guy who was talking about the app where they fly into buildings and have their mental hacking marathon or whatever, and they're going to sell the app and get like 500,000 angel investors. I mean, it sounded like a clunky pitch to me. Just in case someone was listening and wants to invest in the app, you can send it to my crypto wallet. That's kind of what I was hearing. I don't want to get focused on that. I literally told myself before I started speaking, just don't talk about this one thing that I really want to talk about. So that used to be really common on, I guess I'm going to talk about it. That used to be really common on this app. I would hear a lot of people grifting, and actually real scams I remember used to go on almost every night on Clubhouse for some kind of NFT thing, or this was really kind of the Wild West as far as that kind of stuff went. It seems like those people jumped over to Chatter and different apps now, but how did you all interpret that? I mean, is that all good for you? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm...
Interpret him or interpret you?
Well, you could say anything you want, actually.
Well, no, you said how was that for all of you? You're talking about what you said or what he said?
Oh, fair. Yeah, no. I think for me, I was feeling a little protective of the group. I was wanting to sort of mute it, and I don't know what that was in me. So I guess I am checking with all of you. Was that totally no big thing, or do you think there are people that might actually buy into that?
I didn't hear what you guys heard. We'll go to Alfonso in 30 seconds. Towards the end of the 5 minutes, I heard the nieces and neighbors saying, I'm waiting for the crypto, and the crypto never came. And I didn't hear a website. You guys thought, yes.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think when you say you didn't hear a website and you didn't hear sort of the closing part of the pitch, I think that's the thing that kept it from being probably what I would have considered to be a real...
In other words, dude, what we refer to in journalism is he buried the lead. And let's see what Alfonso thinks. Alfonso, you were raising your hand. Go ahead.
So, knowingly or in my ignorance, I usually give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that's what you were doing as well. Just being true to the fact that you want to give everyone a fair fight.
Yeah, in fact, I think he even specifically said that his app wasn't finished yet, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so, like, we've been kind of reinforcing it's more of a conviction than doing what's right at the beginning. And I think if it went further and he was, what I would have done in this case is what I was thinking to myself, if I was running this room, I would have asked him, what are the warning signs? What are the cautions you would ask people to take when somebody offers a similar service as yours, right? And that would put the burden on him to try and be a little more, or be honest about the work he's doing. He might truly believe in it, or he might just be a grifter, as you said. And then my opinion would have been, some people offer great ways of dealing with how to be a better person, how to overcome troubles and problems, and always do your research and ask for other people's opinions so that you can, so you can prevent someone taking advantage of you, and then move on. But I think, and I, this, Dr. James, I always get criticism for allowing people to speak when other people disagree or blatantly think that they're lying, that they're coming in with an agenda that is to hurt people, which I think most of the time is not the case. So I think I would always prefer to give people the benefit of the doubt, give warnings in a way that's not gonna create an argument and fighting and dissension, but otherwise I think we're usually safe listening to each other.
Hey, Alfonso, I just wanted to say really quick. First of all, thank you. Thank you for speaking up. I really appreciate that. This was one of those moments where I think you really put into words maybe the other side that I wasn't allowing myself to see, which is I'm really doing my best, to help you both out in the way you've asked for it versus sort of the way I necessarily would do it if it was my own thing. And so I know here there is sort of a focus on giving people a bit of space, to show respect, to not be be on the itchy trigger finger with moderating, but to kind of see where things go. And I like that. I mean, it's definitely a great approach, and it's part of, why I spend time with you all. It's good to be able to kind of lean into people's ideas, sometimes even to the point of hearing, okay, maybe this is a place that I don't appreciate about this person, but either let's talk about it or let's at least uncover it so, it's out there for everybody to see. So I think there is something to that. But what I hear from you, Alfonso, that I really like, and it's very consistent, is compassion and connection. And you and I definitely share those values. And I think it's great that you found ways to live out those.
Yeah, when deciding whether or not to shut down someone's speech or someone's journey can be very delicate. Clearly, we have a couple of people in the room that thought he was trying to sell or hack an app. I personally didn't think so. I was paying more attention, to the believe in God or whatever like that. I wasn't paying so much attention to the app. A lot of the nieces and nephews here thought that he was attempting to sell an app. Like I said, if he did, he was doing a horrible job at it. I don't even think we heard the name of the app. We didn't hear a website. We didn't hear a phone number. We didn't get a link. We certainly didn't hear anybody saying, for this amount of dollars. In fact, what I heard was the app wasn't finished. So sometimes it's very delicate. And we're going to go to a new speaker in a couple of minutes, but I do want to play a clip because we have time. Hillary is here. Love Hillary. So she'll be next. We'll bring her up during the clip. But that's why I'm playing a lot of more clips this morning, is because we have less people in the room, less people on stage. But sometimes, I agree, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, because before you're going to shut the door on someone's journey, make sure you have a complete understanding of what they're doing, what they're about.
I'm going to recommend to the disciplinary committee that you be expelled. Mr. Sims, you are a cover-up artist and you are a liar. I'm not a snitch. Excuse me? No, I don't think I will. Mr. Slade, this is such a crock of shit. Please watch your language, Mr. Slade. You are in the Baird School, not a barracks. Mr. Sims, I will give you one final opportunity to speak up. Mr. Sims doesn't want it. He doesn't need to be labeled still worthy of being a bad man. What the hell is that? What is your motto here? Boys, Inform on your classmates. Save your hide. Anything short of that, we're going to burn you at the stake. Well, gentlemen, when the shit hits the fan, some guys run and some guys stay. Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket. And what are you doing? You're going to reward George and destroy Charlie. Are you finished, Mr. Slade? No, I'm just getting warmed up. I don't know who went to this place. William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, William Tell, whoever. Their spirit is dead, if they ever had one. It's gone. You're building a rat ship here. A vessel for seagoing snitches. And if you think you're preparing these minnows for manhood, you better think again. Because I say you are killing the very spirit this institution proclaims it instills. What a sham. What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today? I mean, the only class in this act is sitting next to me, and I'm here to tell you this boy's soul is intact. It's non-negotiable. You know how I know? Someone here, and I'm not going to say who, offered to buy it. Only Charlie here wasn't selling. Sir, you're out of order. I show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, Mr. Trask. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place. Out of order. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I've been around, you know. There was a time I could see, and I have seen, boys like these, younger than these, their arms torn out, their legs ripped off. But there is nothing like the sight of an amputated spirit. There is no prosthetic for that. You think you're merely sending this splendid foot soldier back home to Argonne with his tail between his legs, but I say you are executing his soul. And why? Because he's not a bad man. Bad man. You hurt this boy, you're going to be bad bums. The lot of you. And Harry, Jimmy, Trent, wherever you are out there, fuck you too.
Stand down, Mr. Slade.
I'm not finished. As I came in here, I heard those words. Cradle of leadership. Well, when the bow breaks, the cradle will fall. And it has fallen here. It has fallen. Makers of men. Creators of leaders, be careful what kind of leaders you're producing here. I don't know if Charlie's silence here today is right or wrong. I'm not a judge or jury, but I can tell you this. He won't sell anybody out to buy his future. And that, my friends, is called integrity. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
Integrity and courage and consistency. That's the stuff that leaders are made of.
And a goddamn good clip by Sensible Woman.
Yes, from
I thought that was the message of the Trump campaign. Right? Integrity, consistency. I thought right out of a Trump.
Let's say hello to my good friend Hillary Merrick. Good morning, Hillary. It's a pleasure to see you back on Ask the Atheist. What would you like to talk about?
Good morning, my friend. And thank you. That was beautiful. I'd like to talk about Christmas and where the hell did it go? I'm sitting here a couple days before Christmas. We still don't have a tree up. No decorations.
Bitch, where did it go?
You
don't even have it.
Nothing under the tree. My 14-year-old doesn't seem like it bothers him at all at this point. And somebody in the chat just said Grinch stole it. That's funny. I don't think his generation really cares that much. I mean, gifts are gifts, and he knows that we don't have money right now. So when I was a kid, I just remember Christmas
being so many traditions.
Go out
so
there and
many
get a
things
job, you
that I love
hard-working
about
woman.
this holiday, and they're just gone. What happened? Like, I send out 40, 50 or more Christmas cards every year. You know, in the last 5 years, I haven't gotten a single one back. Never once. And it's just, I don't send them to get them back. That's the point I was trying to make. It's like people just don't want it anymore. They don't care. It's like it's a time for you to give gifts, and that's it. You know, you give something to somebody, and even the gifts don't even have the feeling they used to. You know, like there used to be a lot of thought and care behind each gift. Each gift was personalized, and now it's a gift card. It's a it's something for your Cash App. It's nothing that somebody actually put into for you, and I just feel so deflated this year. I feel so, I don't know, unhoused. It's a weird feeling. I feel like I'm standing outside of reality, looking in, going, you know, what are you doing? You know, can we please come back to the way it was? And I tried, like last night I made Rice Krispie treats with my son, and we made them. We're gonna bring them over to there's a tent city not far from where I live, where there's an encampment of several homeless families. So we made a bunch of stuff to bring up there, and then I had a blowout in my tire on the way there, and I sat there in the drizzling rain, freezing freaking cold, for hours. Not a single person, including a police officer, not a single person stopped to see if I needed help, and I did. Because I drive a Mini Cooper and they don't have a spare tire in a Mini Cooper, so I needed help. And my phone was dead, so I couldn't call for a tow or anything like that. And it was just, I don't know. I'm just kind of messed up over the whole thing, you know? I just feel like we've lost Christmas. We don't have, no matter how hard I try to instill tradition or try to, you know, keep it alive in my house, it's just, nobody cares anymore. And that sucks. And I know you're Jewish, and I know that you're just like, whatever, Hillary, but I'm sure it's probably the same thing, you know, in the Jewish community as it is in you know, ours. It's just, there seems to be no holiday spirit left. Just want to know where it went.
Where did Christmas go? I have a response. It's twofold. Number one, when Christmas was what it used to be, as you correctly put, that it's not now what it used to be a couple of decades ago or when we grew up. Even at that time, I don't think there was enough emphasis, at least not for me being Jewish, but I did go over to people's homes and celebrated Christmas, about the birth of Jesus. It was about getting your presents on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. Remember, you open one present on Christmas Eve and you open the remainder of your presents on Christmas Day. I don't know, but even back then, and I agree with you, the commercialization of Christmas, even back then, really, in my humble opinion, took the forefront in the national consciousness to gifts and giving rather than the birth of Jesus. That's number one of two. But two, regarding the commercialization of Christmas, you started your Christmas shopping before Amazon, before the internet, before the Walmart.com, and you started, we didn't even have Black Monday back then, the day after Christmas, and you started your Christmas shopping after Thanksgiving, and you would wait till that eventful day, and a week before Christmas, Dad would go get the tree and whatnot, and then everybody would get together as a family and decorate it. And now, what do we have? We have Christmas shopping and Christmas decorations starting after Halloween. We have months of buying gifts online. And the celebration of Christmas, and especially remembering Christmas for the birth of Jesus, that is falling back like last. And now it's what gifts are the best gifts to get this year, and where can you get them at the best price, and people maxing out their credit cards to increase the debt. And by the way, credit card companies, when interest rates have been dropping, credit card companies have been upping their interest rates, some as high as friggin' 36%. No bullshit. So Hillary, you raise a very good point. And before we go to James Corletta to comment, standing ovation for Hillary Merrick, my good friend, who not only believes in God, was saved by God, and also is back in the room again. Hillary, I've missed you. Let's go to James Corletta.
Thank you. Hillary, you made some really good points. Steve, you stole my fucking thunder. I renamed this holiday season, the couple words you uttered. I've been naming it for almost a decade now, Giftmas, because that is what it has become, Giftmas. It is the season of what you said, families going into debt for the challenge of the neighbors of who puts the most gifts under the tree, who gets the biggest present of this season, blah, 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 blah. Corporate America has taken the true spirit of the holiday season away by, like you said, hey, guess what you see after Halloween? All the Christmas stuff. So, yep. Thanks for bringing that up, Steve, and you stole my thunder.
Let's go to Alfonso. Would you like to comment on Christmas? If not, we'll move on. We'll go around the stage. I think this is an awesome topic. Alfonso, would you like to comment on Christmas? Where has it gone?
Yeah. I want to bring back this whole humanity concept. We're all part of the show. And it's only natural for people to want to show that they have wealth. Penguins, they build a mound of rocks, and the female penguin finds the one they like the most, and they mate with that penguin. Peacocks have evolved this beautiful ornamental display for women, for pecans, and it's just part of the human condition. I think when we suffer, when we go through struggle and strife, we start valuing other things, but I would claim that the vast majority of humans would not mind having an expensive car, a nice home, and comforts to give to their children, especially once you start a family. I don't want to condemn people for doing that, or consumerism, but I do want to commend people for trying to focus on what's really valuable, especially taking care of the planet, and not contaminating. So try not to buy too many plastics. You get a gift, get something that's sustainable, renewable, something that your children will appreciate when it's discarded. It doesn't just create landfills and fill the oceans with waste. And if you can make it yourself, you can recycle. That's what a DIY project I'm starting at home. Starting up my workshop again, and I'm going to build toys and a climbing wall and everything I can for my kids, rather than having to go out and purchase them, and to instill in them the values of all the other things beyond luxury and material possessions.
Dr. James, would you like to talk about where Christmas is going?
Sure. I mean, maybe it's gone to exactly where it's supposed to be, which is, in the home, and not so much permeating everything we see, hear, touch, taste. Not everybody shares it. I'm not saying it should be hidden, but maybe it's just gone to exactly where it is. I mean, the numbers of people who are, identifying as Christian and churched and all this sort of stuff, those numbers are dwindling. The only thing we see is an uprise of politicized Christianity. So, I mean, I really think this topic it's interesting when you take a sort of a religious sort of look at it and where the numbers are, and I think it just reflects the way things are.
Scott Jones, would you like to talk about where Christmas is gone?
Yeah, I just want to correct something Dr. James said. Christianity is not dwindling. The population rate growth is 0.8%. And Christianity's growth is something like 1.3 something or 1.5 something. So almost twice the population rate. Christianity is it's on the rise, man. And I don't know. I'm in Philadelphia, a pretty secular city where most people don't go to church or synagogue or anything. But I walk around. I feel the Christmas spirit. People say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. I went to worship this morning. There was a lot of Christmas spirit. There was a sermon on Mary and the birth of Jesus, and there was a little bit of evidentialist apologetics, which I didn't love. I mean, I go to a very liberal church, so I was pretty surprised to hear that the dean of the cathedral thinks he stood in the house of Jesus under the Sisters of the Convent of Nazareth. I mean, I was laughing under my breath, and I was surprised no one else was, because that seems to me like an archaeologically absurd comment. But I don't know. I see Christmas out there, and I'm loving it. I'm in the Christmas spirit, man.
Richard, would you like to comment on where is Christmas going?
Something that I came across a few years ago, Steve, you can correct me. There's a famous poem that was read at my family's Christmas every Christmas. The night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring.
Go to church.
It's a song. It's a poem about Santa comes with his reindeer on the roof. We all know the poem. As I understood, it was written in the 19th century or very early 19th century in Boston by a Jewish rabbi who did not claim it. It was written anonymously, and it was to try and help the shopkeepers who were struggling. And it turns out, if you think about what's going on economically in the core of our country, it is the biggest period of spending for retail business throughout the United States. So I just want to say I embrace Christmas. It's a deep part of my upbringing. I will be on Wednesday with all of my living family members. My father and mother have gone. And we will read from Luke, the chapter about Christmas out of the Bible, and share a little repast together, some Norwegian delicacies and things from our heritage. And that's all I want to say. There's some sadness in Christmas because the people that used to be with us are not here anymore. Some of them, especially my mother and father, who of course created it. But yeah, Christmas is in full bloom for me. Thank you.
Z, would you like to comment on whether or not Christmas is come and gone?
Yes.
Perfectly.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, I want to send Hillary a hug, and it's been a minute since I've seen you or heard you. So, and I'm sorry about your Cooper car and all that stuff. I really can resonate with, when the funds are low, it's tough. It can be tough no matter what time it is, but especially at Christmas, that, does create a lot of, not great experiences. But I can say for me, so I live in New England. I live in Western Massachusetts, and it's totally Christmas here. It's like a magical snow globe, really. And I live in a farming community, and it is a city, but you can have chickens on Main Street if you wish, as long as you take care of them. And so that's here. I'll just say, for me, my spirits are, high and low, because it is.
My changed how I do business. I'm a photographer and independent business. It's a fact.
We're turning now to a developing story out of central Waco. That chase began when a trooper.
Amazing mother. If anybody's ever in Clearwater, Florida, please private message me, DM me, and I'll get you set up to have breakfast or lunch at her place. But anyhow, I sent her a package through Amazon, and it was like a weighted puppy, like a stuffed animal. And anyhow, the funny thing was, it landed at her doorstep, and I got a picture of like the delivery. And honestly, it was like so. I was so grateful to the shipping company to see my mother's doorstep. And I know it sounds goofy, but I love her outside door area. And then so she came home late, and she says, well, I'm not going to open this package. She goes, and then as a joke, she goes, unless it's a puppy. And I was like, that's exactly what's in the box, is like a big giant puppy dog that's like a weighted snuggle toy. You know, because I'm going to be 64, guys, and my mother's my mom. So she's up there and needs a heating pad. And she runs a very successful business in Florida. And she's also the director of the Suncoast Jazz Festival.
See, can you stick around till after the break? We're running a little short on time. Can you stick around till after the break and contribute then? Is that okay?
I'm all done now, so I'm landing my helicopter. Thanks.
You're welcome. Christian, I know you've only been listening. Christian, are you there? If not, that's cool. Andrew, take a minute to, would you like to comment on where has Christmas come and gone?
Sure. Appreciate what people have been saying. I think there's an ebb and flow to Christmas. Some years are better than others. So obviously, you heard my story earlier. I did a Christmas with my sister and her family one year. My Christmas present to them was me flying out there. So I had no gifts, and I just watched them open, and that was most enjoyable to watch the kids open up their presents. And of course, I made a joke out of it. You know, geez, you got some socks here, Helen. I need socks. You know, I really could use a pair of socks. So just have fun. You know, have fun where you can with it, and enjoy the fact that you're hopefully with your family and or friends.
Thank you, James Corletta. Would you like to comment on where has Christmas come and gone?
Yeah, I'll repeat it. It's went to commercialized America.
Oh, you said it. You are.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. But there are people who still hold the good side of the holiday season, and that's greatly appreciated. And there are still people who hold to the religious aspects of it, and that's all good too. A majority of it, especially here in the United States, has gone to, spend, right?
Yes, sir. And Cool C is new on stage. Cool, we're going to come to you after the break. We're going to do the break and we'll come to Cool C. But Hillary, would you like 60 seconds? And by the way, this break song is dedicated to you. Would you like 60 seconds?
I'm very low on my battery, so I don't want to take up any more time because I don't want to miss anything. I love what everyone shared. I really do. It's good to know there's still some places in this country that feel like home, that are steeped in tradition, and that where you can just feel safe and happy. And I love that for you guys. I love that.
Right.
And I just wish everybody a very happy holiday. And I wish you all the blessings.
And Hillary, I hope your battery lasts 3 more minutes as well. We're going around first started. I posted at the top. Search for Christmas. It's gone. And the family movies. We have Christmas songs. So don't go away. We'll be right back after our mandatory break on Ask the Atheist. Hillary, this is for you in addition to all the nieces and nephews.
The Suncoast Jazz Festival.
This man has a clever...
Yeah. In Sweden, they invent...
This guy glued a phone. This guy glued a...
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because I simply did not know where to get started. I didn't know how to find...
The sayings of the Buddha. Choices. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts we make the world. Speak or act with an impure mind, and trouble will follow you as the wheel follows the ox that draws the cart. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts we make the world. Speak or act with a pure mind, and happiness will follow you as your shadow, unshakable. Look how he abused me and beat me, how he threw me down and robbed me. Live with such thoughts, and you live in hate. Look how he abused me and beat me, how he threw me down and robbed me. Abandon such thoughts, and live in love. In this world, hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. You too shall pass away. Knowing this, how can you quarrel? How easily the wind overturns a frail tree. Seek happiness in the senses, indulge in food and sleep, and you too will be uprooted. The wind cannot overturn a mountain. Temptation cannot touch the man who is awake, strong and humble, who masters himself and learns the law. If a man's thoughts are muddy, if he is reckless and full of deceit, how can he wear the yellow robe? Whoever is master of his own nature, bright, clear, and true, he may indeed wear the yellow robe. Mistaking the false for the true, and the true for the false, you overlook the heart and fill yourself with desire. See the false as false, the true as true. Look into your heart. Follow your nature. An unreflecting mind is a poor roof. Passion, like the rain, floods the house. But if the roof is strong,
Look,
it
I
is
usually
sheltered.
this cutter. You can eat.
Whoever follows impure thoughts suffers in this world and the next. In both worlds he suffers, and how greatly when he sees the wrong he has done. But whoever follows the law is joyful here and joyful there. In both worlds he rejoices, and how greatly when he sees the good he has done. For great is the harvest in this world, and greater still in the next. However many holy words you read, however many you speak, what good will they do you if you do not act upon them? Are you a shepherd who counts another man's sheep, never sharing the way? Read as few words as you like, and speak fewer, but act upon the law Give up the old ways, passion, enmity, folly. Know the truth and find peace. Share the way. Wakefulness. Wakefulness is the way to life. The fool sleeps as if he were already dead, but the master is awake and he lives forever. He watches. He is clear. How happy he is, for he sees that wakefulness is life. How happy he is following the path of the awakened. With great perseverance he meditates, seeking freedom and happiness. So awake, reflect, watch, work with care and attention. Live in the way, and the light will grow in you. By watching and working, the master makes for himself an island which the flood cannot overwhelm. The fool is careless, but the master guards his watching. It is his most precious treasure. He never gives in to desire. He meditates, and in the strength of his resolve he discovers true happiness. He overcomes desire, and from the tower of wisdom he looks down with dispassion upon the sorrowing crowd. From the mountaintop he looks down on those who live close to the ground. Mindful among the mindless, awake while others dream, swift as the racehorse, he outstrips the field. By watching, Indra became king of the gods. How wonderful it is to watch, how foolish to sleep. The beggar who guards his mind and fears the waywardness of his thoughts burns through every bond with the fire of his vigilance. The beggar who guards his mind and fears his own confusion cannot fall. He has found the way to peace. Mind. As the fletcher whittles and makes straight his arrows, so the master directs his straying thoughts. Like a fish out of water, stranded on the shore, thoughts thrash and quiver, for how can they shake off desire? They tremble, they are unsteady, they wander at their will. It is good to control them, and to master them brings happiness. But how subtle they are, how elusive. The task is to quieten them, and by ruling them to find happiness. With single-mindedness, the master quells his thoughts. He ends their wandering. Seated in the cave of the heart, he finds freedom. How can a troubled mind understand the way? If a man is disturbed, he will never be filled with knowledge. An untroubled mind, no longer seeking to consider what is right and what is wrong, a mind beyond judgments, watches and understands. Know that the body is a fragile jar, and make a castle of your mind. In every trial, let understanding fight for you to defend what you have won. For soon the body is discarded. Then what does it feel? A useless log of wood that lies on the ground. Then what does it know? Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own thoughts unguarded. But once mastered, no one can help you as much, not even your father or your mother.
Este foro de invierno tiene más de 100,000. Ventas y ahora está en 0 pesos en T. Vienen varios colores para elegir. Perfecto para actividades al aire libre como ciclismo, anda en moto o senderismo. Súper cálido, resistente al viento y fácil de llevar. Ideal para cualquier aventura en climas fríos. Haz clic en este video para conseguir el tuyo ahora. Solo nuevos usuarios en la app con compras válidas.
Which is better for blood circulation? Beets or sweet potatoes? Is it crucial? Well, I think it definitely is. Eating the wrong
Flowers. Who shall conquer this world and the world of death with all its gods? Who shall discover the shining way of the law? You shall, even as the man who seeks flowers finds the most beautiful, the rarest.
I'm just trying to become a big...
Understand that the body is merely the foam of a wave. The shadow of a shadow.
I'm just trying to become a big
Snap
content
the
creator
flower
one day. I
hours
have
of
no
desire,
spoilers, so if
and
you have
then,
the chance,
unseen,
please subscribe.
escape the king of death and travel on.
Please.
Death overtakes the man who gathers flowers when, with distracted mind and thirsty senses, he searches vainly for happiness in the pleasures of the world. Death fetches him away as a flood carries off a sleeping village. Death overcomes him when, with distracted mind and thirsty senses, he gathers flowers. He will never have his fill of the pleasures of the world. The bee gathers nectar from the flower without marring its beauty or perfume. So let the master settle and wander. Look to your own faults, what you have done or left undone. Overlook the faults of others. Like a lovely flower, bright but scentless, are the fine but empty words of the man who does not mean what he says. Like a lovely flower, bright and fragrant, are the fine and truthful words of the man who means what he says. Like garlands woven from a heap of flowers, fashion from your life as many good deeds. The perfume of sandalwood, rosebay, or jasmine cannot travel against the wind, but the fragrance of virtue travels even against the wind as far as the ends of the world. How much finer is the fragrance of virtue than of sandalwood, rosebay, of the blue lotus, or jasmine? The fragrance of sandalwood and rosebay does not travel far, but the fragrance of virtue rises to the heavens. Desire never crosses the path of virtuous and wakeful men. Their brightness sets them free. How sweetly the lotus grows in the litter of the wayside. Its pure fragrance delights the heart. Follow the awakened, and from among the blind, the light of your wisdom will shine out purely. The fool. How long the night to the watchman? How long the road to the weary traveler? How long the wandering of many lives to the fool who misses the way? If the traveler cannot find master or friend to go with him, let him travel on alone rather than with a fool for company. My children, my wealth, so the fool troubles himself. But how has he children or wealth? He is not even his own master. The fool, who knows he is a fool, is that much wiser. The fool who thinks he is wise is a fool indeed. Does the spoon taste the soup? A fool may live all his life in the company of a master and still miss the way. The tongue tastes the soup. If you are awake in the presence of a master, one moment will show you the way. The fool is his own enemy. The mischief he does is his undoing. How bitterly he suffers. Why do what you will regret? Why bring tears upon yourself? Do only what you do not regret, and fill yourself with joy. For a while, the fool's mischief tastes sweet, sweet as honey. But in the end, it turns bitter, and how bitterly he suffers. For months, the fool may fast, eating from the tip of a grass blade. Still, He is not worth a penny beside the master whose food is the way. Fresh milk takes time to sour, so a fool's mischief takes time to catch up with him. Like the embers of a fire, it smolders within him. Whatever a fool learns, it only makes him duller. Knowledge cleaves his head, but then he wants recognition, a place before other people, a place over other people. Let them know my work. Let everyone look to me for direction. Such are his desires. Such is his swelling pride. One way leads to wealth and fame, the other to the end of the way. Look not for recognition, but follow the awakened and set yourself free. The wise man. The wise man tells you where you have fallen and where you yet may fall. Invaluable secrets. Follow him. Follow the way. Let him chasten and teach you and keep you from mischief. The world may hate him, but good men love him. Do not look for bad company or live with men who do not care. Find friends who love the truth. Drink deeply. Live in serenity and joy. The wise man delights in the truth and follows the law of the awakened. The farmer channels water to his land. The fletcher whittles his arrows, and the carpenter turns his wood. So the wise man directs his mind. The wind cannot shake a mountain. Neither praise nor blame moves the wise man. He is clarity. Hearing the truth, he is like a lake, pure and tranquil and deep. Want nothing. Where there is desire, say nothing. Happiness or sorrow, whatever befalls you, walk on, untouched, unattached. Do not ask for family or power or wealth, either for yourself or for another. Can a wise man wish to rise unjustly? Few cross over the river. Most are stranded on this side. On the river bank, they run up and down. But the wise man, following the way, crosses over beyond the reach of death. He leaves the dark way for the way of light. He leaves his home, seeking happiness on the hard road. Free from desire, free from possessions, free from the dark places of the heart, free from attachment and appetite, following the 7 lights of awakening and rejoicing greatly in his freedom. In this world, the wise man becomes himself a light, pure, shining, free.
Do you want to receive beautiful crystals every month without breaking the bank? I know what you're thinking. It must be too good to be true. What's the catch? We just want your feedback on the crystals we send you. We want to know which crystals you feel the most connected to and which ones you like the most. That way, we can add the most high-quality crystals to our website that are loved and recommended by our VIP Crystal Club. All of the crystals are beautiful and all natural, and the packaging is gorgeous. They even include an insert card that tells you more about the crystals. And each one is blessed with a singing bowl before they're sent to you. Anyway, spots are filling up for the program really fast, and trust me, you don't want to miss your chance to be a VIP. You don't want to pass up the opportunity to have crystals sent to you every month for free. I'm obsessed with my Aura Bloom crystals. They add such elegance and beautiful vibes to my space. So click the link and answer a few questions to see if you qualify. If you're accepted, we welcome you as a VIP, and we hope you enjoy your monthly dose of self-love.
Gabapentin is bringing you closer to amputation. These are 3 symptoms that are signaling that you could be close to losing your foot. I'm going to show you the critical signs, why it happens, and what you can do about it. This video could save your life.
The Master. At the end of the way, The master finds freedom from desire and sorrow, freedom without bounds. Those who awaken never rest in one place. Like swans, they rise and leave the lake. On the air they rise and fly an invisible course, gathering nothing, storing nothing. Their food is knowledge. They live upon emptiness. They have seen how to break free. Who can follow them? Only the master. Such is his purity. Like a bird, he rises on the limitless air and flies an invisible course. He wishes for nothing. His food is knowledge. He lives upon emptiness. He has broken free. He is the charioteer. He has tamed his horses, pride, and the senses. Even the gods admire him. Yielding like the earth, joyous and clear like the lake, still as the stone at the door, he is free from life and death. His thoughts are still. His words are still. His work is stillness. He sees his freedom and is free. The master surrenders his beliefs. He sees beyond the end and the beginning. He cuts all ties. He gives up all his desires. He resists all temptations. And he rises. And wherever he lives, in the city or the country, in the valley or in the hills, there is great joy. Even in the empty forest, he finds joy, because he wants nothing. The thousands. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. Better than 1,000 hollow verses is one verse that brings peace. Better than 100 hollow lines is one line of the law bringing peace. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours. It cannot be taken from you, not by angels or by demons, heaven or hell. Better than 100 years of worship, better than 1,000 offerings, better than giving up 1,000 worldly ways in order to win merit. Better even than tending in the forest a sacred flame for 100 years is one moment's reverence for the man who has conquered himself. To revere such a man, a master old in virtue and holiness, is to have victory over life itself and beauty, strength and happiness. Better than 100 years of mischief is one day spent in contemplation. Better than 100 years of ignorance is one day spent in reflection. Better than 100 years of idleness is one day spent in determination. Better to live one day wondering how all things arise and pass away. Better to live 1 hour seeing the one life beyond the way. Better to live one moment in the moment of the way beyond the way. Mischief. Be quick to do good. If you are slow, the mind, delighting in mischief, will catch you. Turn away from mischief again and again. Turn away before sorrow befalls you. Set your heart on doing good. Do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. A fool is happy until his mischief turns against him, and a good man may suffer until his goodness flowers. Do not make light of your failings, saying, "What are they to me?" The jug fills drop by drop, so the fool becomes brimful of folly. Do not belittle your virtues, saying they are nothing. A jug fills drop by drop, so the wise man becomes brimful of virtue. As the rich merchant with few servants shuns a dangerous road, and the man who loves life shuns poison, beware the dangers of folly and mischief. For an unwounded hand may handle poison. The innocent come to no harm, but as dust thrown against the wind, mischief is blown back in the face of the fool who wrongs the pure and harmless. Some are reborn in hell, some in this world, the good in heaven, but the pure are not reborn, nowhere. Not in the sky, nor in the midst of the sea, nor deep in the mountains can you hide from your own mischief. Not in the sky, nor in the midst of the ocean, nor deep in the mountains, nowhere can you hide from your own death. Violence. All beings tremble before violence. All fear death. All love life. See yourself in others. Then whom can you hurt? What harm can you do? He who seeks happiness by hurting those who seek happiness will never find happiness. For your brother is like you. He wants to be happy. Never harm him. And when you leave this life, you too will find happiness. Never speak harsh words, for they will rebound upon you. Angry words hurt, and the hurt rebounds. Like a broken gong, be still, be silent. Know the stillness of freedom, where there is no more striving. Like herdsmen driving their cows into the fields, old age and death will drive you before them. But the fool in his mischief forgets, and he lights the fire wherein one day he must burn. He who harms the harmless or hurts the innocent, 10 times shall he fall into torment or infirmity, injury or disease or madness, persecution or fearful accusation, loss of family, loss of fortune. Fire from heaven shall strike his house, and when his body has been struck down, he shall rise in hell. He who goes naked with matted hair, mud bespattered, who fasts and sleeps on the ground and smears his body with ashes, and sits in endless meditation, so long as he is not free from doubts, he will not find freedom. But he who lives purely and self-assured in quietness and virtue, who is without harm or hurt or blame, even if he wears fine clothes, so long as he also has faith, he is a true seeker. A noble horse rarely feels the touch of the whip. Who is there in this world as blameless? Then, like a noble horse, smart under the whip, burn and be swift, believe, meditate, see, be harmless, be blameless, awake to the law, and from all sorrow free yourself. The farmer channels water to his land, the fletcher whittles his arrows, the carpenter turns his wood, and the wise man masters himself.
Get hooked up with Cash App cards. Hit the app, add an offer, and save instantly when you pay.
Old age. The world is on fire, and are you laughing? You are deep in the dark. Will you not ask for light? For behold your body. a painted puppet, a toy, jointed and sick, and full of false imaginings, a shadow that shifts and fades. How frail it is, frail and pestilent. It sickens, festers, and dies. Like every living thing, in the end, it sickens and dies. Behold these whitened bones, the hollow shells and husks of a dying summer. And are you laughing? You are a house of bones, flesh and blood for plaster. Pride lives in you, and hypocrisy, decay, and death. The glorious chariots of kings shatter, so also the body turns to dust. But the spirit of purity is changeless, and so the pure instruct the pure. The ignorant man is an ox. He grows in size, not in wisdom. Vainly I sought the builder of my house through countless lives. I could not find him. How hard it is to tread life after life. But now I see you, O builder, and never again shall you build my house. I have snapped the rafters, split the ridgepole, and beaten out desire, and now my mind is free. There are no fish in the lake. The long-legged cranes stand in the water. Sad is the man who in his youth lived loosely and squandered his fortune. Sad as a broken bow, and sadly is he sighing after all that has arisen and has passed away. Yourself. Love yourself and watch today, tomorrow, always. First, establish yourself in the way, then teach, and so defeat sorrow. To straighten the crooked, you must first do a harder thing. Straighten yourself. You are your only master. Who else? Subdue yourself and discover your master. Willfully you have fed your own mischief. Soon it will crush you as the diamond crushes stone. By your own folly you will be brought as low as your worst enemy wishes. So the creeper chokes the tree. How hard it is to serve yourself. How easy to lose yourself in mischief and folly. The kashtari dies when it bears fruit. So the fool, scorning the teachings of the awakened, spurning those who follow the law, perishes when his folly flowers. Mischief is yours, sorrow is yours, but virtue also is yours, and purity. You are the source of all purity and all impurity. No one purifies another. Never neglect your work for another's, however great his need. Your work is to discover your work, and then, with all your heart, to give yourself to it. The world. Do not live in the world in distraction and false dreams outside the law. Arise and watch. Follow the way joyfully through this world and beyond. Follow the way of virtue. Follow the way joyfully through this world and on beyond. Or consider the world a bubble, a mirage. See the world as it is, and death shall overlook you. Come, consider the world, a painted chariot for kings, a trap for fools. But he who sees goes free. As the moon slips from behind a cloud and shines, so the master comes out from behind his ignorance and shines. This world is in darkness. How few have eyes to see. How few the birds who escape the net and fly to heaven. Swans rise and fly toward the sun. What magic! So do the pure conquer the armies of illusion and rise and fly. If you scoff at heaven and violate the law, if your words are lies, where will your mischief end? The fool laughs at generosity. The miser cannot enter heaven. But the master finds joy in giving, and happiness is his reward. And more, for greater than all the joys of heaven and of earth, greater still than dominion over all the worlds, is the joy of reaching the stream. The man who is awake, he is awake. The victory is his. He has conquered the world. How can he lose the way who is beyond the way? His eye is open. His foot is free. Who can follow after him? The world cannot reclaim him or lead him astray, nor can the poison net of desire hold him. He is awake. The gods watch over him. He is awake and finds joy in the stillness of meditation and in the sweetness of surrender. Hard it is to be born. Hard it is to live. Harder still to hear of the way, and hard to rise, follow, and awake. Yet the teaching is simple. Do what is right. Be pure. At the end of the way is freedom. Till then, patience. If you wound or grieve another, you have not learned detachment. Offend in neither word nor deed. Eat with moderation. Live in your heart. Seek the highest consciousness. Master yourself according to the law. This is the simple teaching of the awakened. The rain could turn to gold, and still your thirst would not be slaked. Desire is unquenchable, or it ends in tears, even in heaven. He who wishes to awake consumes his desires joyfully. In his fear, a man may shelter in mountains, or in forests, in groves of sacred trees, or in shrines. But how can he hide there from his sorrow? He who shelters in the way and travels with those who follow it comes to see the four great truths concerning sorrow, the beginning of sorrow, the eightfold way, and the end of sorrow. Then, at last, he is safe. He has shaken off sorrow. He is free. The awakened are few and hard to find. Happy is the house where a man awakes. Blessed is his birth. Blessed is the teaching of the way. Blessed is the understanding among those who follow it. And blessed is their determination. And blessed are they who revere the man who awakes and follows the way. They are free from fear. They are free. They have crossed over the river of sorrow. Joy. Live in joy, in love, even among those who hate. Live in joy, in health, even among the afflicted. Live in joy, in peace, even among the troubled. Live in joy without possessions, like the shining ones. The winner sows hatred because the loser suffers. Let go of winning and losing and find joy. There is no fire like passion, no crime like hatred, no sorrow like separation, no sickness like hunger, and no joy like the joy of freedom. Health, contentment, and trust are your greatest possessions, and freedom your greatest joy. Look within. Be still. Free from fear and attachment. Know the sweet joy of the way. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. How long the road to the man who travels with a fool, but whoever follows those who follow the way discovers his family and is filled with joy. Follow then the shining ones, the wise, the awakened, the loving, for they know how to work and forbear. Follow them as the moon follows the path of the stars. Pleasure. Do not let pleasure distract you from meditation, from the way. Free yourself from pleasure and pain, for in craving pleasure or in nursing pain, there is only sorrow. Like nothing lest you lose it, lest it bring you grief and fear. Go beyond likes and dislikes. From passion and desire, sensuousness and lust, arise grief and fear. Free yourself from attachment. He is pure and sees. He speaks the truth and lives it. He does his own work. So he is admired and loved. With a determined mind and undesiring heart, he longs for freedom. He is called Udam Soto, he who goes upstream. When a traveler at last comes home from a far journey, with what gladness his family and his friends receive him. Even so shall your good deeds welcome you like friends, and with what rejoicing when you pass from this life to the next. Anger. Let go of anger. Let go of pride. When you are bound by nothing, you go beyond sorrow. Anger is like a chariot careering wildly. He who curbs his anger is the true charioteer. Others merely hold the reins. With gentleness, overcome anger. With generosity, overcome meanness. With truth, overcome deceit. Speak the truth. Give whatever you can. Never be angry. These 3 steps will lead you into the presence of the gods. The wise harm no one. They are masters of their bodies, and they go to the boundless country. They go beyond sorrow. Those who seek perfection keep watch by day and night till all desires vanish. Listen, Attila, this is not new. It is an old saying. They blame you for being silent. They blame you when you talk too much and when you talk too little. Whatever you do, they blame you. The world always finds a way to praise and a way to blame. It always has, and it always will. But who dares blame the man whom the wise continually praise, whose life is virtuous and wise, who shines like a coin of pure gold? Even the gods praise him, even Brahma praises him.
Over here,
beware of the anger of the body. Master the body. Let it serve truth.
individuals who are not particularly
beware of the anger of the mouth.
and you can see there's
Master your words.
expression
Let them
of this
serve
particular
truth.
gene, the BMAT2.
Beware of the anger of the mind.
Evidence that
Master your
supports
thoughts.
our hypothesis
Let them
for the
serve
development
truth.
of this
The wise have mastered body, word, and mind. They are the true masters. Impurity.
So
You are as the yellow
these
leaf.
are fanatical people.
The messengers of death are at hand. You are to travel far away. What will you take with you? You are the lamp to lighten the way. Then hurry, Harry, when your light shines without impurity or desire, you will come into the boundless country. Your life is falling away. Death is at hand. Where will you rest on the way? What have you taken with you? You are the lamp to lighten the way. Then hurry, hurry. When your light shines purely, you will not be born, and you will not die. As a silversmith sifts dust from silver, remove your own impurities, little by little. Or, as iron is corroded by rust, your own mischief will consume you. Neglected, the sacred verses rust, for beauty rusts without use, and, unrepaired, the house falls into ruin, and the watch without vigilance fails. In this world and the next, there is impurity and impurity. When a woman lacks dignity, when a man lacks generosity, but the greatest impurity is ignorance. Free yourself from it. Be pure. Life is easy for the man who is without shame. Impudent as a crow, a vicious gossip, vain, meddlesome, dissolute. But life is hard for the man who quietly undertakes the way of perfection with purity, detachment, and vigor. He sees light. If you kill, lie, or steal, commit adultery, or drink, you dig up your own roots. And if you cannot master yourself, the harm you do turns against you grievously. You may give in the spirit of light, or as you please, but if you care how another man gives or how he withholds, you trouble your quietness endlessly. These envying roots, destroy them and enjoy a lasting quietness. There is no fire like passion. There are no chains like hate. Illusion is a net, desire a rushing river. How easy it is to see your brother's faults, how hard to face your own. You winnow his in the wind like chaff, but yours you hide like a cheat covering up an unlucky throw. Dwelling on your brother's faults multiplies your own. You are far from the end of your journey. The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. See how you love whatever keeps you from your journey. But the Tathagatas, they who have gone beyond, have conquered the world. They are free. The way is not in the sky. The way is in the heart. All things arise and pass away, but the awakened awake forever. The just. If you determine your course with force or speed, you miss the way of the law. Quietly consider what is right and what is wrong, receiving all opinions equally without haste, wisely observe the law. Who is wise, the eloquent or the quiet man? Be quiet and loving and fearless. For the mind talks, but the body knows. Gray hairs do not make a master. A man may grow old in vain. The true master lives in truth, in goodness and restraint, non-violence, moderation, and purity. Fine words or fine features cannot make a master out of a jealous and greedy man. Only when envy and selfishness are rooted out of him may he grow in beauty. A man may shave his head, But if he still lies and neglects his work, if he clings to desire and attachment, how can he follow the way? The true seeker subdues all waywardness. He has submitted his nature to quietness. He is a true seeker, not because he begs, but because he follows the lawful way, holding back nothing, holding to nothing. Beyond good and beyond evil, beyond the body and beyond the mind. Silence cannot make a master out of a fool, but he who weighs only purity in his scales, who sees the nature of the two worlds, he is a master. He harms no living thing. And yet, it is not good conduct that helps you upon the way, nor ritual, nor book learning, nor withdrawal into the self, nor deep meditation. None of these confers mastery or joy. O seeker, rely on nothing until you want nothing. The way. The way is eightfold. There are four truths. All virtue lies in detachment. The master has an open eye. This is the only way to the opening of the eye. Follow it. Outwit desire. Follow it to the end of sorrow. When I pulled out sorrow's shaft, I showed you the way. It is you who must make the effort. The masters only point the way. But if you meditate and follow the law, you will free yourself from desire. Everything arises and passes away. When you see this, you are above sorrow. This is the shining way. Existence is sorrow. Understand and go beyond sorrow. This is the way of brightness. Existence is illusion. Understand. Go beyond. This is the way of clarity. You are strong. You are young. It is time to arise. So arise, lest through irresolution and idleness you lose the way. Master your words. Master your thoughts. Never allow your body to do harm. Follow these three roads with purity, and you will find yourself upon the one way, the way of wisdom. Sit in the world. Sit in the dark. Sit in meditation. Sit in light. Choose your seat. Let wisdom grow. Cut down the forest, not the tree, for out of the forest comes danger. Cut down the forest, fell desire, and set yourself free. When a man desires a woman, his mind is bound as closely as a calf to its mother. As you would pluck an autumn lily, pluck the arrow of desire. For he who is awake has shown you the way of peace. Give yourself to the journey. Here shall I make my dwelling in the summer and the winter and in the rainy season. So the fool makes his plans, sparing not a thought for his death. Death overtakes the man who, giddy and distracted by the world, cares only for his flocks and his children. Death fetches him away as a flood carries off a sleeping village. His family cannot save him, not his father, nor his sons. Know this. Seek wisdom and purity. Quickly clear the way. Out of the forest, there is pleasure and there is bliss. Forgo the first to possess the second. If you are happy at the expense of another man's happiness, you are forever bound. You do not what you should. You do what you should not. You are reckless, and desire grows. But the master is wakeful. He watches his body. In all his actions, he discriminates and he becomes pure. He is without blame, though once he may have murdered his mother and his father, 2 kings, a kingdom, and all its subjects. Though the kings were holy and their subjects among the virtuous, yet is he blameless. The followers of the awakened awake, and day and night they watch and meditate upon their master. Forever wakeful, they mind the law. They know their brothers on the way. They understand the mystery of the body. They find joy in all beings. They delight in meditation. It is hard to live in the world and hard to live out of it. It is hard to be one among many. And for the wanderer, how long is the road wandering through many lives? Let him rest. Let him not suffer. Let him not fall into suffering. If he is a good man, a man of faith, honored and prosperous, wherever he goes, he is welcome. Like the Himalayas, good men shine from afar, but bad men move unseen like arrows in the night. Sit, rest, work, alone with yourself, never weary. On the edge of the forest, live joyfully, without desire. The dark. One man denies the truth, another denies his own actions. Both go into the dark, and in the next world suffer, for they offend truth. Wear the yellow robe, but if you are reckless, you will fall into darkness. If you are reckless, better to swallow molten iron than eat at the table of good folk. If you court another man's wife, you court trouble. Your sleep is broken, you lose your honor, you fall into darkness. You go against the law, you go into the dark. Your pleasures end in fear, and the king's punishment is harsh. But as a blade of grass held awkwardly may cut your hand, so renunciation may lead you into the dark. For if in your renunciation you are reckless and break your word, if your purpose wavers, you will not find light. Do what you have to do, resolutely, with all your heart. A traveler who hesitates only raises dust on the road. It is better to do nothing than to do what is wrong. Or whatever you do to yourself. Like a border town well guarded, guard yourself within and without. Let not a single moment pass, lest you fall into darkness. Feel shame only where shame is due. Fear only what is fearful. See evil only in what is evil, lest you mistake the true way and fall into darkness. See what is. See what is not. Follow the true way. Rise. The elephant. I shall endure hard words as the elephant endures the shafts of battle. For many people speak wildly. The tamed elephant goes to battle. The king rides him. The tamed man is the master. He can endure hard words in peace. Better than a mule or the fine horses of Sind or the mighty elephants of war is the man who has mastered himself. Not on their backs can he reach the untrodden country, but only on his own. The mighty elephant Dhanapalaka is wild when he is in rut, and when bound he will not eat, remembering the elephant grove. The fool is idle, he eats and he rolls in his sleep like a hog in a sty, and he has to live life over again. My own mind used to wander wherever pleasure or desire or lust led it. But now I have it tamed. I guide it as the keeper guides the wild elephant. Awake, be the witness of your thoughts. The elephant hauls himself from the mud. In the same way, drag yourself out of your sloth. If the traveler can find a virtuous and wise companion, let him go with him joyfully and overcome the dangers of the way. But if you cannot find friend or master to go with you, travel on alone, like a king who has given away his kingdom, like an elephant in the forest. Travel on alone, rather than with a fool for company. Do not carry with you your mistakes. Do not carry your cares. Travel on alone, like an elephant in the forest. To have friends in need is sweet, and to share happiness, and to have done something good before leaving this life is sweet, and to let go of sorrow. To be a mother is sweet, and a father. It is sweet to live arduously, and to master yourself. Oh, how sweet it is to enjoy life living in honesty and strength. And wisdom is sweet, and freedom. Desire.
Want to call you anymore. You are disgusting.
If you sleep, desire grows in you, like a vine in the forest. Like a monkey in the forest, you jump from tree to tree, never finding the fruit. From life to life, never finding peace. If you are filled with desire, your sorrows swell like the grass after the rain. But if you subdue desire, your sorrows fall from you like drops of water from a lotus flower. This is good counsel, and it is for everyone. As the grass is cleared for the fresh root, cut down desire, lest death after death crush you, as a river crushes the helpless reeds. For if the roots hold firm, a felled tree grows up again. If desires are not uprooted, sorrows grow again in you. 36 streams are rushing toward you, desire and pleasure and lust. Play in your imagination with them and they will sweep you away. Powerful streams, they flow everywhere. Strong vine, if you see it spring up, take care. Pull it out by the roots. Pleasures flow everywhere. You float upon them and are carried from life to life. Like a hunted hare you run, the pursuer of desire pursued, harried from life to life. O seeker, give up desire. Shake off your chains. You have come out of the hollow into the clearing. The clearing is empty. Why do you rush back into the hollow? Desire is a hollow, and people say, look, he was free, but now he gives up his freedom. It is not iron that imprisons you, nor rope, nor wood, but the pleasure you take in gold and jewels and sons and wives. Soft fetters, yet they hold you down. Can you snap them? There are those who can, who surrender the world, forsake desire, and follow the way. O slave of desire, float upon the stream. Little spider, stick to your web, or else abandon your sorrows for the way. Abandon yesterday, and tomorrow, and today. Cross over to the farther shore, beyond life and death. Do your thoughts trouble you? Does passion disturb you? Beware of thirstiness, lest your wishes become desires, and desire binds you. Quieten your mind. Reflect. Watch. Nothing binds you. You are free. You are strong. You have come to the end, free from passion and desire. You have stripped the thorns from the stem. This is your last body. You are wise. You are free from desire, and you understand words. and the stitching together of words, and you want nothing. Victory is mine, knowledge is mine, and all purity, all surrender. I want nothing. I am free. I found my way. Whom shall I call teacher? The gift of truth is beyond giving, the taste beyond sweetness, the joy beyond joy. The end of desire is the end of sorrow. The fool is his own enemy. Seeking wealth, he destroys himself. Seek rather the other shore. Weeds choke the field. Passion poisons the nature of man, and hatred, illusion, and desire. Honor the man who is without passion, hatred, illusion, and desire. What you give to him will be given back to you, and more. The Seeker. Master your senses. What you taste and smell, what you see, what you hear. In all things, be a master of what you...
That was really a question because I popped in.
Sorry, Black. He is raising an interesting point and driving the conversation somewhere a little bit more interesting than it was before. So
there's points you look. I don't know if you guys are aware of this study, but they got this out of a dating app, and they found that guys who were average height needed to make about $35,000-$40,000 more than the average income to be deemed acceptable. Guys that were 6 feet and above, they were allowed to make like $30,000 less than the median income by women. Guys that were 5'6" and under, 5'7", 5'6" and below, they had to make like $180,000 more than the average guy before they were considered human beings by women. I think Wheat Waffles would have shared the same stat, but no, he didn't create it.
I don't see that misaligning at all with what Domingo's talking about. Essentially, there is something that equals, I don't know, dateable, and then Domingo variables into it, and that person.
Domingo is saying that physical dominance and
look, I need evidence, or look, I would like more than just, your feelings or your intuition or all of these things that are individualistic. Like nobody else around you can observe. Let me rephrase that before someone says I spoke.
Free this evening.
In absolute.
Free this evening.
Things that others around you, as you're having these experiences, are not having. Joan of Arc used to see visions, right? It's you had cults that believe that the closest way to getting to this higher being is to have orgasms more often. There's just so much hooey blooey, and they get offended when you say, "Hey, can you demonstrate any of this?" Gravity is just a word that we use to describe a phenomenon. If I drop my phone, it's gonna fall. We've chosen to call that gravity. It's just I don't get it with some of these people, and I don't get it. I don't understand what it is they feel like they've actually won, other than maybe, like you said, it pumps up their chest for a minute, and they can go out and tell their like-minded friends how they destroy.
Okay, see how's your Sunday work there?
Yeah, and I'm going to bring Midas back up in a little bit, but first we have new people on stage. Tazy, good morning. Welcome to Ask the Atheist. What would you like to talk about?
Hi, Lisa, how's your Sunday going?
so nicely.
How's your Sunday morning? How's your Sunday?
It's a real day of celebration.
How's your Sunday? Free this evening?
At least for us up here in the northern hemisphere.
Free this
And
evening?
I always celebrate it.
Love to see you again.
Just such a nice turning point. And that's it. I just wanted to say
Thank
happy
you.
winter, everyone.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Happy holidays to you and your family. We're going to go Devil Kitty, and then I'm going to bring Midas back up. Hello, Devil Kitty. Welcome to the
Hi,
show.
Richard. How's your Sunday? Free this evening?
We cannot hear you, Devil Kitty. Devil Kitty, you might have to exit the app and come back. We cannot hear you, and we want to hear you. Okay, and look, there we go. Let's try it again, Devil Kitty. Devil Kitty, you can't just exit the room if that's what you did. You have to exit the entire app and then come back in. We cannot hear you. I want to hear you. Okay, well, Devil Kitty, you might have to exit the entire app and come back in. I am going to invite Midas back up. Let's see if this works. I dropped into the audience. Yeah, there we go. So, Midas, we're going to try this again from a different point of view. Midas, did you go to church or your house of worship today? Midas. Hello, Midas. Well, he came on stage. Since Midas believes in God, and it's clear to me that he thinks that all people that don't believe in God are stupid and are suffering and lost. You know, I'd like to find out how his experience in
Hi,
church
Richard.
today
How's
was.
your Sunday? Free this evening?
Excellent question, brother.
There you go. Yeah, how was
I noticed
church?
you ran
Did you go to church today?
conversation.
Midas, did you go to church today?
Amen, brother. I go to church every week. So, do you recognize that the big...
No.
Whoa.
What was discussed in church today? I'm asking for a reason.
Jews, the demonic fake Jews, and how they are the synagogue of Satan. It was a great sermon.
So this was a priest or a minister that was saying this?
Yes, sir. A great minister.
Would you like to give us the minister's name?
Hi, Richard. How's your Sunday? Free this evening?
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. You don't. Hello. Hello. My goodness.
Everybody else was allowed to speak.
Yeah, Midas, hang on. I have questions for you about this person. Do you feel comfortable saying if it was a minister or a priest? Can you say that or no?
A fantastic Christian priest who provided as much evidence on the
Fair
Talmud
enough.
and
A Christian
Talmud
priest.
as I could. I haven't.
A Christian priest who says that all Jews are Satan and the devil. Is that correct?
Not all, but most. And when we
Christian priest that says most is
you're not allowing me to finish my sentence.
Why are you unmuting when I'm talking to somebody else? Why are you doing that? Cool. Please go on mute. Thank you. That's okay. Apologies. Go back on mute. Go back on. Thank you. Midas, I want to make a statement and then I will not interrupt you. I think that anybody in a house of worship, especially somebody on stage who is a minister or a person of authority that picks out a majority of another group of people and says that they are the devil, they are Satan, and you didn't say this, but I'm assuming it was also included they should be either killed or removed from this planet. I don't subscribe to any of that. None of it. I think that's horrible. How can you justify killing people or saying people are the devil because they don't believe in your belief? And why Jews, by the way? your God. They have their own God. Should all Muslims, 1.5 to 2 billion of them, are they Satan as well, or is it just most Jews?
Well, the interesting thing about what he did it to parallel what the rabbis were saying about the Goy. And that 6 billion to 8 billion Goy needs to be removed off the face of the earth.
Okay, this needs to stop. This is getting into anti-Semitic
So this is
tropes. This needs to stop.
I'm not dealing with anti-Semitic.
All right, okay, thank you.
I'm dealing with Rabbi Yaron Rubin. He said about the fact that 6 billion Goy are
This needs to stop.
Hold on,
he said some of the Jews have died.
Midas, go on mute. Midas, go on mute. Midas, go on mute. I want to talk to my mom. Thank you. Mods, Dr. James has clearly said this is getting into anti-Semitism. Obviously, he's in favor of shutting down the conversation and moving on. I will defer to my mods. Alfonso, any thoughts?
Is this fascism, by the way?
Yes, I know. It's the fascism because I rule the room. That's right. Okay, let's go to Cora.
You chose the topic. But you chose the topic.
Cora,
you talk about Big Bang Theory.
Please stop talking. Please stop talking. If you can't follow the rules, I'll bounce you again.
I bounced him. We'll let him back up.
Cora, did it exhaust its educational and entertainment value?
I think for the most part, yeah. If he wants to go just, monologue on his personal, I don't want to call it a belief system, his personal worldview that includes a great deal of prejudice, bigotry, and racism.
Yeah.
He should probably go open his own room instead of trying to, the title of the room is Ask the Atheist. It's not Midas monologue about crap. So, Midas, I realize Uncle Steve asked you the question, but it wasn't an invitation for you to, repeat racist rhetoric.
Hey, John, we use
Dr. James, thank you for doing what you did. It was absolutely the correct thing to do.
I'll see tomorrow. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lovely. Oh,
I was just going to say
well.
I did find it mildly entertaining, and no one would, I think, say I'm not afraid of the Jews. And also, I liked Dr. James' vigilance, and I hope he's as vigilant when our progressive friends are so anti-Semitic in their tropes against Israel when we talk about Gaza. I applaud your vigilance, Dr. James. I hope to see it in our progressive discussions when people. By the way, I found out the new way to understand international law. What you do is you just take any international law and then add a comma and say, except for Israel. Then you know how international law works. Thank you.
May I speak? I just want to say, may I speak?
Of course.
Thanks. So, the thing that queued me up was he said the word goyim, and he was getting into very, very adjacent to protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, which is used by very, very racist organizations, was used by Adolf Hitler. It's just a bunch of bullshit, and that guy needs to just not come back on stage as far as I'm concerned.
I use the word goyim all the time. I'm a Jew.
Are you talking about the word, Dr. James?
He is...
No, are you talking about the word goyim?
Meaning that
No, Dr. James, I don't mean to be rude. Are you referring to the word goyim? It's a yes or a no?
What I'm referring to is he was beginning to quote rhetoric from the protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, which has been used historically to persecute Jewish people and exterminate them in one particular case.
Okay, fair enough. And the reason why I was hammering on the word goyim, and I think somebody just said it a moment ago, that the word goy or the word goyim or the word goyisha has been used by many Jewish people in not only in the past but still today to refer to a non-Jewish person in a arguably derogatory fashion.
Yes, and so this Yes, and so and this document, which was a fake document, it was not real. What it did was it purported to be these learned elders, aka Jewish clergy, and basically plotting for the destruction of all the goy. And so it was used then as the counterpoint to why they needed to, in that country where they exterminated 6 million Jewish people, why they needed to then do their thing. And so it is something that white supremacist groups have invoked for since I can remember.
All right. Can I Mike Moon this? Can I Mike Moon speak?
Wait, who, your name, please? I'm sorry.
This is Scott. I want to do Mike Moon if I can.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? Scott and Mods, why don't you guys take over for about 10 minutes? I'm going to take a little break and then we'll have closing thoughts. Go ahead, you guys take over for 10 minutes.
Well, I just now called a racist by people who shut down my speech while acting racist and fascist towards my speech. How does that work?
You do sound a little. No offense, Midas. I like your shtick, Midas. I do like your shtick. I do really, because I find it entertaining. You strike me as like a Howard Stern whackpacker. But I mean, you are a little bit. Come on, you got you say this stuff about Jews a little twinkle in your eye, right? I mean, you know this is pretty racially inflammatory, right? You know. Oh, he's gone. Anyway, I just wanted to say
the entire party was probably dumb. God, I thought we all.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone that this is not. Hold on. This is not a popcorn room. Right now we have Scott talking to Midas. Period. That's the only people that should be unmuting.
All right.
Midas is back on stage, Scott.
There you go. Thanks, Lauren. Midas, you gotta know, right? I mean, it's fine if you don't like Jews. I mean, what's not fine? I mean, I think it's everyone bigoted, but I mean, you know, right? That you're an anti-Semite, right? You don't love the.
Accusing a man of racism while acting racist towards a man is deflection and is very simple. See, I was the only one on the stage that was kind of silenced. Everyone else was able to speak their shtick. And when I asked Steve about the Big Bang Theory, which is a Catholic theory, he ran for the hills. Then he asked me about the church. I went to the information I got. Now, the priest that I spoke about, he did it as kind of a mirror to parallel exactly what the rabbis were saying when we watch videos of the rabbis. So are you saying the rabbis are the ones who are racist towards blacks
Which
and
rabbis?
and the sons of Amalek by their speech?
Give me a name of a rabbi that talks like that. I'd love to know who it is and what denomination.
Yaron Reuven. There are a few others I can't remember their names right now, but you know Yaron Reuven, right?
I don't. I can Google it. Yaron Reuven. Okay, I'm Googling it right now. All right, I'm seeing what you're on you. Politically incorrect honesty from the all right. I don't know this guy, but this guy looks like a polemicist and probably not representative of most rabbis.
But that's your stance. However, if you look at the paper signed by 1,200 rabbis to increase the immigration into America right before COVID under Joe Biden, we can clearly see that they were working to remove the sons of Amalek. And I can actually play some of the videos where many rabbis were saying they want to remove the sons of Amalek using the sons of Ishmael with the Muslims.
The sons of Amalek, are we talking in the Holy Land? Are we talking in America? Who are the sons of Amalek and where do they reside?
According to rabbis, the sons of Amalek, everybody thinks it's racist. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm just repeating what rabbis say. They said that the sons of Amalek are in the West. There are anybody in America because they sold out.
Here we go. I hang out. I don't hear any Jews talking like this. You know what I mean? I don't think this is mainstream. I don't hear Bibi Netanyahu talk like this. I don't hear Ben Shapiro talk like this. I don't hear Chuck Schumer, who's a Jew, who's outgoing Senate Majority Leader. I just don't hear anybody talk like.
Well, Ben Shapiro silenced Candace Owens as soon as she started doing some investigation into Rabbi Shmuley. Why do you think they did that? Because that would be kind of racist, right, towards the black woman for speaking?
Look, I've never heard Ben Shapiro say anything like you're saying. And I'm not a Ben Shapiro fan. I'm a liberal Democrat, so I'm not defending Ben Shapiro. But I don't, as far as politically, but I think you're Honestly, I think you're real out there. I'm curious. Okay, if you don't want to say the name of your pastor, just tell us what denomination you're.
I'm Christian. So
I mean, that's not a denomination, right?
That's
not a denomination. What does the sign? Well, no. What does the sign at your church say? What does the sign at your church say?
I'm a Christian.
No, well, that's not a denomination. That's a brother. If I pulled up to your church, it would just say Christian. That's all it says. No, I'm the mod here. I'm a mod. I'm going to ask you a question. If I pulled up to your church, what would the signage say?
It would say Christian.
It would just say Christian church. That's it?
Yes, that's all you need to know.
So if I Googled it to go to your church, I would search Christian church. Like I know if I wanted to go to a Roman Catholic church or a Pentecostal church, but how would I find your church if I wanted to visit? I mean, I would just Google Christian church.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about your question is you have a problem with what I'm saying. But Jesus Christ himself, wait, brother, you have a problem with what I'm saying. But Jesus Christ himself said
why you won't identify your church?
Will claim that they are Jews, but they
why
are not.
Won't you identify? Simple question. What denomination?
Don't you have a problem? Don't you have a problem with the Bible itself?
I don't have a problem with the Bible any more than I have a problem with any other.
Do you accept the New Testament and what Jesus Christ said about those who say they are Jews and they are not?
I think that stuff that is inflammatory about Jews, right? First off, what we have to contextualize is these are Jews talking to other Jews, and many rabbis in this apple table, if you get Rabbi Orion here, he would say the same thing. That it's very different because it's Jews saying other Jews are not true Jews because they're persecuted, who they see themselves as, the better Jews. And lots of Jews did this. Jews that weren't followers of Jesus did this, right? Like other Jews were excommunicating other Jews all the time in Second Temple Judaism. So that's the context of these statements. It's not Gentiles looking at Jews and saying they're terrible. It's Jews. It's infighting among Jews. Okay, so that's the context. How your church gets visitors if I can't Google it? I mean, how do I get there? What if I want to find Jesus?
How do your rabbis get visitors when they're saying that COVID is only for the poor?
I can tell you, all my rabbi friends, I can
like 6
Google
billion
their
boys have to die off the face of the earth.
All my rabbi friends, I can Google their shuls. Why is your church so mysterious? Is it a secret society? I mean, is there something you're embarrassed about?
You won't say what Isn't that protection? Because what you guys do is you operate like a secret society. Have there been any investigations into Chabad Lubavitch and what they did in Brooklyn the other day when they cemented that room?
Chabad, what did Chabad do in Brooklyn? I haven't looked at the news. I didn't see that.
Well, there were tunnels under buildings that they made to, it seems like traffic children. They had
Yeah. Of course, suicide. Yeah,
they had
that's
little
nothing.
accidents
That's a
for
whole.
children.
That's a
Soil
whole.
with blood and dirt.
That has
So were there any investigations? Have you as a Jew?
Yes.
Have you as a Jew called for investigation into Chabad Lubavitch and their actions in New York?
If I were a practicing Jew, I would do that. I have no problem calling her. Lots of Jews, I think, wanted that. There's nothing there. I want to know why.
So then why are you worried about
No.
Why are you worried about
Why are you so? Why are you?
kids?
I do care about it. It's all about it.
Yes, just clarification, Scott's a Christian minister. He's not a rabbi. He does, however, like most responsible theologians, have ecumenical conversations with people of other religious background.
Well, this is so very Christian. It seems like he's avoiding what the rabbis are saying. He doesn't really.
Is it a racist church, Midas? Do you go to a racist church? Do you go to? It's okay if you are. You can be honest. Just say I go to a church that doesn't like Jews, so I don't want to say what denomination it is because I wouldn't want to go to a place people identify with a place they hate. Just tell us.
Most synagogues hate churches.
They don't. Most rabbis I know are pretty friendly.
Why do they give them
Scott, I'm going to give you another 60 seconds with Midas, and then I'm going to take the room back over.
Okay, Midas, I really think if you're going to help the people come to know Jesus as Lord and Savior, you should get to the point. You could get to the point where you would at least say what denomination your church is. If I can't Google your church, what if I need to salvation? So I think
he can't do it because he's a coward. He's the coward, Scott.
I already said it's
Uncle Steve, I just wanted to point out that Devil Kitty has resolved her technical.
Why is everybody scared?
Oh, good. Okay, so in that case, we're going to move.
Can I?
In that case, no, actually, you can't.
So
We're
there's a
going
white
to move
supremacist room, and you guys are the racists and not.
No, you know what? It's an anti-Midas room. I don't know about anybody else, but I am against what you. I don't know about anybody else, Midas, but I am against you. Quite frankly, I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. And if indeed you did go to church today, which, by the way, I do not believe, but I could be wrong, I think that the person that was speaking is a racist, bigot, an anti-Semite, and quite frankly, I don't like it. And let me do one other thing, and then I'm going to move on. And we're going to get to all the speakers on stage. So have no fear, everybody. Let's see here. Okay, so I want to go to people that have not spoken yet. We tried Paul. Paul, we've tried you. I see everybody, Devil Kitty. I see you all. Paul, are you there? Because we've called on you a couple of times. Paul going once, Paul going twice. Okay, we're going to give Paul a first-class escort to the VIP. Hold on. Let's go to Devil Kitty. Okay, Devil Kitty has not spoken
You guys
yet.
hear me now?
Yes, you have a fresh 5. We're at the end of the show, but you take your time. No rush. Good morning. What would you like to talk about?
346 94.
I just want to address Midas real quick, especially about.
Well, you can address me, but you can talk about Midas because Midas is gone. Go ahead.
No, my wording was a little bit bad. My apologies.
No worries.
The thing is about when he was talking about racism, I can tell him this wholeheartedly. You were talking to a guy who was getting persecuted in the Middle East for being an atheist, who had a gay friend who was forced into conversion therapy. And frankly, you coming here and telling me the Jews are terrible. They are holding the world. Frankly, I think you should just think with a clear head about what you're saying. Because what you're saying is the same thing actual racist extremist people who killed others have said the same exact thing you are. The difference between you and them, Midas, is that you live in a secular country and you're held by secularism. You have an actual police force. Maybe America's not the best, I will admit that, but you live in a country where accountability is a thing. So that's the first. The second thing is you cannot, if you're going to come out and try to convince me about your God, you should have a coherent structure of speech. You should come with 1, 2, and 3 points, whatever the number of points is, and we should go to them one point after the other. And the third, I'm really sick and done listening to spiritual nonsense. In one regard, I don't care what type of drugs you take. I don't care what type of meditation, what type of prayer you do. That's your body, that's your mind, you're free to do so. But when you shove it down my throat and expect me to give you respect, you're out of your mind. If you want me to be like, oh, I shouldn't respect your ideas at all. I respect you as a human, but I should never respect your ideas. That's how good speech and conduct happens. And my last point is, I really don't understand why the concept of chosen people is such a big deal. There's nobody's chosen.
Fun.
When you
Not sure
think you
how long
have
we're
the
going to
backing
get
of the
out, but
creator
what
of
were
the
you
universe
thinking?
without
Oh, just...
proof, you can do a lot of terrible shit and then believe yourself to be a true believer. It happens in Islam, it happens in Christianity, it happens in Judaism even, it happens in Western religions, pagan Western religions. The difference is that you live in a nation where accountability happens by the
It's
law.
more fun with you.
I wish I was an American, Midas. You want to know why? Because I lost my freedom. I can't go out, let alone blaspheme. I can't go out and be like,
Maybe
I'm a
another
proud
bloody
atheist. You guys have your beliefs, I have my beliefs. If not imprisoned by my own country for blasphemy laws,
Maybe a
I would be
movie.
either killed or at the very least get a severe beating. So if you're going to use the same conduct as actual people who murdered others, and actual people who, imprisoned others and hurt them physically,
Joy, just more fun with you. Maybe another Bloody Mary and a mimosa. Maybe a movie, sunset yoga.
because I am sick and done of this. I didn't ever went into a religious room and start crying like this. When I hear something I don't like, I just leave. How dare you cry to racism?
How dare you!
Are you such a racist and blind person that you don't realize that a lot of Africans don't like you, don't know what America is like? I get it. I truly get it. That there are racial problems. Like any other nation in the world, America has its own problem. But you can't dump these problems on me. Because enough is enough. I don't care what you do in your church, and I don't care what you do in your house. Keep it out of our education and out of our politics, so we can both thrive. If you want your nation to turn into a theocratic state, you're the first one getting fucked, buddy. Thank you.
Wow, Devil Kitty, amazing!
Amazing. All I can say is Devil Kitty.
I knew he was going to say that was amazing.
Follow me because I'm giving you a first-class escort.
And he kicks him to the goo.
VIP. Thank you. Necro, have you spoken yet?
No, I have not.
Welcome to the show.
Necro!
Get a fresh five to talk
Necro!
about whatever you want.
Thank you very much. I only need a few seconds. I just want to say I got a message from Jesus to Christian, and his message to Christians is to move on already. That he's ghosted you for the last 2 millennia, and to accept.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Wow, Necro!
Escort to the VIP.
Oh, maybe some sunset yoga. Oh joy. Just more fun with you. Maybe another Bloody Mary, mimosa, maybe a movie or sunset yoga.
Tamar, did you speak already, I think?
I have not. No.
Okay. Tamar, welcome to the show. You got a fresh five. What would you like to talk about?
I was just going to answer the stuff that it was it Midas?
You can talk about whatever you want.
I was just going to respond to some of the weird allegations that he was making. I grew up Orthodox, Jewish Orthodox in Ohio. I never heard any of that stuff that he's talking about. I live in New York.
Because he's deranged.
Like, I have never heard one of the weird things that he was alleging.
Whoa. Whoa!
Thank you.
Whoa!
Is this your first time on the show?
I think it is.
We hope you come back. We're here every Sunday for
Whoa!
4 years now. We started 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We normally run 3 or 4 hours, and we appreciate your contributions. And please stick around till the end of the show. But if you follow me down the red carpet, you get a first-class escort to the VIP. And now let's go to Caleb. Good morning, Caleb. It's a pleasure to see you on the show. You have a fresh five.
Good morning. I just came up in case somebody needed another Jew or a rabbi. So here I am, in case anyone needed that in that last conversation. I'll just hang up, but or you can escort me down.
Tell you what, we'll give you another chance for maybe a 60-second goodbye. We'll keep you on stage. Let's go to Rohan. Rohan, welcome back to the show. You have a fresh five.
Maybe a painting. We could do a painting. We could host, we could do 2 paintings. We could do 2 paintings.
Clubhouse had a way to tag speakers, so we could have a tag on folks like Midas that
We
just
could
say
do 2 paintings.
flat earther, because that's what he is, right? He's literally a flat earther. So folks would know not to take him seriously on any subject and save their room a little bit of time. And I want to especially shout out the flat earthers and couples right now that are going through it because
We could do
they
two
said the longest time
paintings
it was
with
a
my
24-hour sun in Antarctica, and there was a trip there last week that debunked their nonsense. And this is where I'll land. This is why this is important. You'll see like what Midas just exhibited is an illustration that seemingly benign beliefs like the earth is flat are conspiratorial at their root. And once you have one of these ideas, you'll often see that those ideas are intermixed with other ideas like anti-Semitism, racism, trans and homophobia, misogyny, the whole thing. It doesn't come in a pack of one, it's a pack of a pack. And this has been shown through multiple studies. So this is why it's important to, when possible, push back against conspiratorial ideas, even if they appear to be benign. Because chances are that person has a bunch more baggage to bring with them. And some of that baggage is harmful. So yeah, that's what
Fucking A, he's fucking crazy.
Love that.
That was Rohan, wasn't it?
Oh, Rohan, no, please. Rovis is next. Hold on. Rohan, I'm humbled. I apologize. No, you know me there, brother. First class escort to the VIP. Rohan, thank you. Sorry about that. Rovis, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice holiday season and Kwanzaa and all that stuff. Peace and love.
Absolutely. Thank you, first class escort to the VIP. Now let's go to Christian. Christian, you've been here almost 4 hours. Would you like to say goodbye?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Steve. Goodbye to everybody. Peace and love. Have good holidays and stay safe on the clubhouse streets.
Stay safe on the clubhouse streets. Standing ovation for that. That's right.
Great.
Stay safe on the clubhouse streets. First class escort to the VIP. Daryl, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. It's cold up here. I hope we don't get snow, and I hope you don't get snow, and enjoy the holidays.
Thank you very much, first class escort to the VIP. Rick, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest things. That was some of the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
That's mean.
It's like